Begins tonight in Dallas. It's the first of 4 in a row away from Gainbridge Fieldhouse as Indiana takes on the Wings at the American Airlines Center. Hi everyone, and a very pleasant Friday evening to you. Thanks so much for tuning in. With the recently crowned City League champion, Bria Goss, I'm John Nolan. Ken Mendez is our engineer here, while Eddie Garrison, our producer, back in Indy. Fever, hottest team in the W right now, having won 3 in a row and standing at 15-12 on the season. 6th best record in the WNBA against a Wings team that's only 8-20 overall, so that's 11th out of 13 in the league. Yet earlier this week, a victory against the reigning champs, the New York Liberty. So Bria, Fever here seeking a 4th consecutive win for the first time this season. What's it going to take?
Well, one, you cannot underestimate this team by any circumstances. It's one of those things where their record doesn't necessarily reflect how they're playing. Like you said, they just beat the New York Liberty, who is a fantastic squad through and through. So they have the ability to play hard, play together, and play smart. So one of the biggest things that the Fever need to do, come out focused, ready to go, take this game as if it is their last, and see if they can start really putting a stamp. And going out with a bang, this is a very, very long trip, not only physically but mentally as well. Coming in, getting some good wins can do something as far as hyping up the energy on the planes and in the hotels. So you want to be able to come out and get this first road win.
Absolutely. It's the 3rd meeting of the season between these teams. The Fever won here back in late June, 94-86. That was a pretty wild game because the Fever led by 23 points in the first half. Then all of a sudden the Wings rallied, took a lead in the second half. Ultimately, the Fever prevailed, and then they met up at Gainbridge Fieldhouse last month on the 13th. And that was a 102-83 win for the Fever, in which they set a franchise record for assists in a game with 30.
Like you said, 23 points just diminish over a small period of time. So this is a game of runs. Again, the team doesn't go away. They play hard. They have the energy of the crowd here tonight, so they got to be able to come in ready to go. Yeah, this building seats more than 20,000. So when they played here in June, it was a top 10 crowd in WNBA history. 20,409 fans a sellout. It is not at capacity tonight. We'll talk more about that later. But ready to get it going. The Fever on the road in their heroin white uniforms against the Wings in their navy and bright green jerseys and shorts. And it's the Fever who win the opening tip and go from right to left. Aaliyah Boston has it at the foul line, back to the basket. Skip pass, right corner, Kelsey Mitchell. Sends it right wing, Aaliyah driving to the left elbow. Shovel pass, Ari McDonald. Blow by right side, misses the layup. AP offensive rebound, reload. Sophie thought about a 3, instead passes to Kelsey. Feeds Aaliyah, right block. And then her pass inside is deflected and intercepted. The Wings going left to right. Their first offensive possession. Fans on their feet here in Dallas. At the right elbow, Haley Jones, who started this year in training camp with Atlanta. It's her 3rd different team now. More on her story as we go. She has it right perimeter. Shot clock down to 3. Handoff, J.J. Quinterly, the rookie. A floater, right elbow, and it goes. In her first year out of West Virginia, makes it 2-0, 1 minute in. Yeah, man, the way that these rookies have come in and just put a stamp on this team, they're very dependable, so you got to be able to check them early. Most of the headlines justifiably for Paige Beckers, but yeah, she's not the only rookie here making a difference. Kelsey Mitchell, pretty pass to Howard, who scores rim right. Oh. Kelsey right there, crafty, no look. Highlight reel, Kelsey Mitchell behind the back. Ooh, that was nasty. Tied at 2 now, 90 seconds played. Jones right wing, guarded by Mitchell. Bounce pass, right corner. Beckers gives to a rolling Jones. Dishes, left wing, catch and shoot 3 for Louisa Geisel-Sauter. She misses, but a rebound for the Fever. Indiana right to left. Mitchell in front of her bench. Head coach Stephanie White. Arms crossed behind her. Starting to drive, and a foul called on Dallas. Our officiating crew tonight led by Tim Green, working with Sarah Williams and Agata Bazzi, who blew the whistle there. Foul called on Arike Ogunbowale, the Notre Dame alum.
Harry McDonald inbounding left sideline to Mitchell up top. She unloads. Splash! Kelsey with a go-ahead three. 5-2 Fever, 2 minutes in.
I really feel like last time that Kelsey Mitchell played in this building, her shot really came alive. So it's good to see where she picking up where she left off.
Her second highest scoring game of the season, dropped more than 30. Long two straight on for Geiselsuter. And the native of Germany knocks it down. 5-4. Fever the lead and the ball. Between the rings, Howard driving middle, puts it up. Back rim, no. Rebound, Dallas. Contact in the paint went uncalled. Jones driving right lane underneath the basket. Muscling it up, no. Well defended by Cunningham, who corrals the rebound. Sophie brings the ball down the floor. Kick ahead, left wing. McDonald behind the back dribble. Veers towards the left elbow. Now passes left block. Boston. And again, contact inside, no call. Loose ball won by Dallas. Wings in transition, left to right. Quinterly, right wing three. Misses to the left, rebound Howard. 5-4 Fever, almost 3 minutes in. Cunningham bounces hip high with the left hand, motions the offense with the right hand, floats a pass, right block to Aaliyah, trying to back down Jones, spins on her, and banks it in. Bow, bow, bow. AB's first 2 points at 7-4 Indiana with 6:47 to go in the first quarter.
And she took full advantage of that mouse in the house situation. Not necessarily a guard, but a smaller post.
Yeah, Jones at 6'1", more of a wing. As now Geiselsuter misses one from the left elbow. Rebound Fever. Mitchell brings the ball down the floor. Long pass ahead to Boston, who caught it on the baseline with a foot out of bounds. So a turnover gives the ball to Dallas with 6:31 on the first quarter clock. And the Fever in front 7-4.
And she's looking for fouls. The physicality down there is just unmatched. And she was able to get to the free throw line quite a bit last game. So let's see if that carries over for this one.
Yeah, AB had a massive fourth quarter, leading the way in that win over Phoenix. Becker's midi right post shot around and out, rebound by Howard. Indiana right to left. Tosh to the right wing, dribble handoff to Kelsey, explodes to the foul line, sends it left side. Aries three off to the right. Howard offensive rebound and puts it in with the right hand from the left side. 9-4 Fever, a little bit over 4 minutes through.
Sometimes that's the best offense. Come in, see if you can get a good shot, get that offensive board, put back.
Now Dallas again towards the bottom of the standings. They've been a pretty solid rebounding team this year, but Tosh so active on the O glass. Jones left to the basket, banks it in. Reversing right there. It's 9-6. Fever up 3 with it on the left side. Mitchell right elbow, jump pass. Tosh open, right side 3, short. And Boston has an offensive rebound, banks it in, plus a foul on Jones. AB with a chance for an old-fashioned three-point play.
Relentless. That was a beautiful play there. I love the way that Kelsey Mitchell sprinted off for that handoff. And because of that, that was a hard roll by Aaliyah Boston down to the block, which attracted so much attention. Somebody had to come down there and help, which led a wide-open Howard on the wing. So even though she missed a shot, great position for AB to get that board and put back and won the old-fashioned way.
11-6, 5:27 to go in the first quarter. So the Fever are 5 of 11 from the field. So they've made 5 shots, they've missed 6.
Yeah.
Half of their misses, they have gotten the offensive rebound.
Yeah.
And the free throw for Boston short. She's been better than 80% at the line this year, but Beckers plucks the board. Now she launches a 3 right wing, no good, but she's fouled by Boston. And so Page will shoot 3 on the right side. Clock paused with 5:17 to go in the opening quarter, and the Fever ahead 11-6.
Definitely a smaller lineup here for the Dallas Wings, as AB is the one who checked ball up top from Paige Beckers.
So the rookie from UConn at 6 feet tall, the 23-year-old, makes the first. Front runner for Rookie of the Year in the W. The second, nothing but net. Lineup change for Dallas's first-year head coach, Crisco Clanis, as Isaiah James enters, a 5'10 rookie from NC State. All 3 free throws, a swish for Becker, so the Fever lead cut down to 2 at 11-9, almost midway through the first quarter. McDonald playing point at 5'6", driving left. Shot off glass, no. Boston almost had a putback. Instead, Dallas winds up with it, left to right. James gives it to the backup center. And Lee Rue out of control in the paint, loses it. Howard at midcourt, foul to reach it on Beckers. It pauses the clock with 4:51 to go in the first quarter. And it leads us to our first break of the action. Fever 11, Wings 9. You're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Hey, I'm ordering dinner. I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through June 2nd, 2025.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with Healthy Indiana plan benefits, we help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining health insurance.
Better Water starts with a free water analysis from C&J Water, proud partner of the Indiana Fever. From hard water solutions to pure, great-tasting drinking water, C&J Water is committed to helping you enjoy better water in every glass, load of laundry, and shower. Schedule your free water analysis today at cnjwater.com and discover how much better your water can be. C&J Water, local, trusted, and the choice of the Indiana Fever.
The Indiana Fever trust OrthoIndy as their official orthopedic provider, and so can you. From game-time injuries to everyday mishaps, OrthoIndy Urgent Care is your fast, affordable alternative to the ER. Walk in, skip the wait, and see an orthopedic expert. No appointment needed. Injuries happen. OrthoIndy is ready. Find a location near you at orthoindy.com. OrthoIndy, trusted by the pros. Here for you.
This is Natasha Howard, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Fever 11, Wings 9, 4:51 to go in the first quarter. Our injury report presented by OrthoIndy, the official orthopedic partner of the Indiana Fever. And still Caitlin Clark out, in case anyone's wondering, though she is on the road trip with the team. So, like usual, was the only one out in the arena almost an hour before game time, signing autographs for dozens, if not hundreds, of fans. And sounds like the rehab is progressing well, and so hopefully we'll be back at some point later this month. But without her, again, Bria here, a 2-point lead for the Fever. What have you liked or maybe not liked so far?
Well, I like the pace. Let's start with the pace. I think this is a high-quality game just on both sides. Both teams are taking advantage of what they can get in transition, finding the open players, taking advantage of the mismatches, especially down low, some up top, and then also the offensive rebounding from the Indiana Fever have been exactly where we need to be. Dallas, that's not one of their strongest points. So we're exploiting that weakness in them, and we need to continue to do that for the duration of this game.
Fast-paced, and yet the Fever with just one turnover, and the Wings without a turnover so far. Indiana ball coming out of the timeout in the white uniforms. Ari McDonald at the foul line, pick and roll with Aaliyah, who's called for a travel. So I guess the announcers jinx can strike beyond just free throws.
Yeah.
Second turnover. And the Wings get it with 4:38 on the first quarter clock. Fever leading 11-9. Here in this massive arena that seats more than 20,000. It's home to the Dallas Mavericks and the Stars. Not at capacity tonight as Giroux tees up a left wing three. Bricked it, boarded by Howard. Toss ahead, right sideline. Kelsey slows down at the foul line. Now passes onto the left wing, out of bounds. Not on the same page there as Ari, I think initially was in that space. She cut. Lexi was in the neighborhood, but it was out of her range.
Yeah.
So that's now back-to-back possessions with a turnover following the timeout. in the navy and the bright green. It's Dallas left to right. Ball poked out of bounds by Howard away from Jones. Wings keep it with 4:09 to go in the first quarter. Substitution now for Stephanie White as she brings Sydney Colson in. And Ari McDonald gets a breather, so one point guard in for another. Inbound goes to Beckers. It's Hull with the assignment on her. Dish on the left wing to Yaru, and Boston steals it from her. She finds Alexi. Hull driving. Lefty layup is good. 13-9 Fever, under 4 to go in the first quarter.
There you go, Lexi. That was a great defense to offensive transition there.
And now Dallas gives it away again. Boston another steal. Colson across the timeline, snaps it to Kelsey, left wing. Step back against Page, bounces towards the corner. Gives it at the foul line. Aaliyah, she finds Lexi, right corner in front of the bench for three. It's short. Offensive rebound for Tosh. Trying to navigate around Yaru. She does. Little kiss off the glass right to the rim. 15-9 Fever. Dejanay Carrington speeding the other way for Dallas. And attacking right lane. She's fouled. We'll shoot 2 free throws with 3:15 to go in the opening stanza. Indiana up by a half dozen.
And I can't tell you how important it is that, if you don't start coming in off of the bench, you have to be so locked into how the refs are calling the game, what the motion in the offense looks like, where the holes of the defense is, and see if you can make an impact significantly early.
Carrington rattles down the first free throw. Well, it's the third time these teams are playing each other this season. It's the first time that the Fever are seeing Carrington, who's been out injured, and for that matter, that has been one of the issues for Dallas this year. They don't have a single player who has played in every game. In fact, everyone's missed at least a couple.
Wow.
Cross your fingers if you're a Fever fan, but Kelsey Mitchell, Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston, they've started every single game this year. Others have played in every game as well.
Yeah.
Both free throws good for Carrington. 15-11 Fever. As Colson trying to split the defense, turns it over. Transition for Dallas. Freshly in off the bench, it's Maisha Hines-Allen with a right side layup. And the Fever lead cut down to 2. It's 15-13, under 3 to go in the first. Colson, right arc. Rifles a pass, right corner to Hull. Skip pass, Howard, left perimeter. Dribble handoff to Mitchell, driving right. Now steps back and hits from the right elbow. 17-13 Fever with 2:35 to go in the first quarter.
Kelsey Mitchell is about as smooth as butter on that one with that cute little step back, creating so much space.
Now from the left elbow, Beckers, swish. Quick inbounds, though. Howard to Mitchell, racing down the floor. Veers out towards the right wing. Fever up 17-15, 2:15 to go first quarter. Hull driving right boulevard. Her pass picked off by Agumbawale. Fast break. Carrington receives the pass and scores right to the basket to tie it at 17 with 2 to go in the first.
Shouldn't be any panic faces down there as they set up the offense. You just got to get right back into that rhythm of flow.
Colson open, right side three. Book it. Fever retake the lead 20-17 with 1:43 to go in the first quarter. As the veteran backup point guard has been picking up her play of late. Yaru straight on three over Howard. Doesn't go, but an easy offensive rebound for Hines-Allen, who gets fouled by Dantas. Pausing the clock with 90 seconds to go in the first quarter. 2 free throws for Hines-Allen.
That would look like it was a ball screen up near half court, and it looked like kind of a soft trap from the Indiana Fever, which led to an easy pass out of the trap, and nobody really rotated on the backside. So we got to be able to sprint out of a more disruptive trap in order for that to be effective.
Yeah, can't let that happen. 5 on the floor right now for the Fever. Colson, Mitchell, Hull, Howard, and Dantas. As the first free throw is good for Hines-Allen, who shot it at about 70% there this year.
Number 15, Sierra McCallum.
Hines-Allen, 6'1", 30-year-old in her 8th season out of Louisville. Spending the majority of her W career with the Washington Mystics. Second free throw spins out. Rebound Fever. Colson across the logo at midcourt. Pass to Hull on the left wing. Her shot blocked by Carrington. Dallas has the loose ball. Wings left to right. Ogunbowale, right elbow jumper, clanks off the back of the orange rim. Rebound, though, Dallas on the offensive glass. Carrington feeds in the paint. Hines Allen, baby hook, good. And that locks up the score at 20 with a minute to go in the opening quarter. Mitchell with a burst to the left wing. Blow by against Carrington and lays it in. 22-20 Fever. Kelsey Mitchell just too quick.
Man, I can't even break it down. It was so quick. Blink of an eye, she's at the rim.
Carrington cutting, has it left elbow and turns it over. Howard the other way, right to left. Finds Hull with space, passes right corner. Kelsey feeds right block. Howard facing up, passes right wing. Kelsey catch and shoot short. And a long rebound out up top to Hines Allen. Flip pass up ahead. Ogunbowale Euroing left lane, misses but was fouled. With 22 seconds to go in the quarter. And the Fever up 22-20.
I was almost a 1-on-4, but I'm going to go ahead and say 1-on-3 situation. And Ogunbowale, fearless as can be, decided to take it amongst herself anyway and ended up coming up with the foul there.
The veteran Ogunbowale, who made the All-Star game each of the last 4 years, but did not make it this year in Indy. In fact, she was actually All-Star MVP a couple of times, including last year. Another one of those Wings players hampered by injury this season. She hits the first free throw. And when she returned to the lineup at Gainbridge Fieldhouse last month, she had, by her standards, a horrific game. I think she was 0 for 10 at one point shooting. Ties the game here with the second free throw. Shot clock off now for Indiana. But post All-Star break, she's healthy, and she's really playing at a high level. Averaging 17 points, 5 assists per game. Quite a duo with Beckers. It's Mitchell bouncing at the logo. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Crossing over left to right. Step back. Launches over Carrington. Misses to the left. Colson grabs the offensive rebound, but no time left on the clock. And that ends the first period. The Fever and the Wings tied at 22 at the American Airlines Center in downtown Dallas. You're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Hey fans, Sophie Cunningham here. If you have private student loan debt and are behind or even in default, you got to call my friends at YRefi. YRefi refinances private student loans that others won't touch, and they provide you with a custom loan payment based on your ability to pay. And YRefi does not care what your credit score is. Just give them a call at 888-YRefi-34. That's 888-YRefi-34. Or go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
I'm Lynn Dunn, Senior Advisor to the Indiana Fever. I've seen the power of women who lead, at home, on the court, and in life. If you think your child may be showing signs of autism, trust your gut. Early detection matters. Don't wait, don't wonder. Visit daymar.org today. You'll find answers, support, and a team that walks beside you. Every child deserves a chance, and the right assist can change everything.
Fever fans, get ready to bring the heat. It's game day and Chicken Salad Chick is here to fuel your fandom. With 12 fresh, made-from-scratch chicken salad flavors, pimento cheese, and egg salad, we've got the perfect meal for every fan. Dine in with us, grab a meal to go, or order ahead for pickup. With 7 local restaurants, deliciousness is always within reach. Chicken Salad Chick is a proud sponsor of the Indiana Fever. Visit chickensaladchick.com to order now.
Hey everyone, it's Jake from Payless Liquors. Charlie said sell it, so stop by one of our 26 family-owned locations and stock up with these great deals. Captain Morgan half gallons for $24.99, Evan Williams Black half gallons for $22.99, and Seagram 7 half gallons or Hennessy pints for $19.99. Get Mick Ultra 16-ounce 12-packs for $17.99, Budweiser and Bud Light 16-ounce 12-packs for $13.99, XXL flavored wines for $9.99, and Svedka and Benjamin 50 mils for just 69 cents. Why pay more when you can pay less here at Payless Liquors?
This is the exclusive radio home of the Indiana Fever.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
This is Sophie Cunningham, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Sophie and the Fever on the road in Dallas, tied at 22 as we go to the second quarter, and remind you that it takes guts to win and the same courage to do work that changes lives. So join Daymar and make a difference for kids with autism and the families who love them. Just visit daymar.org today. That's Daymar, DAMAR.org.
Well, so far, I don't think this is and, I'm one of those ones who try not to point out the obvious of what the refs are doing. However, one of the biggest stats that really line up is that 8 for 9 on the Dallas Wings side for how many free throw attempts to 0 for 1 on our side. So I'll be taking a look at that further in this quarter.
Yeah, Fever called for 4 fouls. Wings called for 3, but there was the discrepancy at the line. So the Fever trying to clean it up in the second quarter. Dallas with the ball first, though. It's Paige Becker's mid-range jumper from the left side. Nothing but net. And the Fever are down 24-22. Here 20 seconds into the second period. McDonald, the starting point guard, back in. Dantas in off the bench. Left baseline, mid-range for her. And she answers. Ties it up at 24. With 9:25 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, off the dribble, too. We don't see that a lot from DD.
She was a spark off the bench the other night. All of a sudden, Mitty's like crazy. Yeah. It's Maisha Hines-Allen from the right elbow who sinks it. Who says the mid-range jumper is dead?
Right.
Harry McDonald to Damiris Dantas. Tees up a 3 up top. Misses to the left and a rebound for Dejanay Carrington. Former member of the Connecticut Sun. Played for Stephanie White and most members of the Indiana coaching staff. Carrington, right arc, guarded by Dantas, who reached in and is called for a foul with 8:49 to go in the half. And the Fever behind 26-24.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
Had 5 ties, a couple lead changes here so far.
All right, here we go.
Becker's inbounds right sideline to Hines-Allen, guarded by KK Timpson, who's in off the bench. Hines-Allen driving left, spins back to her right, baby hook short, rebound Dantas to McDonald left sideline, across the bright blue line at midcourt. Veers it over on the right side. Cunningham attacking into the Navy paint. Bounce pass left wing. Lexi now. She pulls from the left elbow. Misses to the left. Rebound Dallas. Former Fever big Tierra McCowan. 7th year out of Mississippi State. Becker's left perimeter, eyes the rim. Now she launches from the left elbow, planks off the back of the rim. Rebound McDonald, who goes behind the back with the dribble in the backcourt, defended by J.J. Quinterly. Front court left, hesitation, driving into the paint, loses the ball. It's on the floor, scrum for it, and finally a whistle for a jump ball with 8:02 to go in the first half. And the Fever down 26-24.
Had some good shots in that sequence there. Just didn't get the shooter's roll. But you had Beckers who hit that who hit the first one, missed the last one, who also doesn't need a lot of space. So we have to continue to disrupt her.
Whistle as the ball is tossed up in the air, a violation, and it's against the Fever. So the Wings get it.
It's quite the height difference there, as you had Tierra McCowan and Ari McDonald jumping for that ball. Probably the best decision.
Half the battle is in. Let's go.
So Dallas with it, left to right. Quinterly at the controls. defended by McDonald. The bounce pass near the left elbow. Hines Allen. Beckers cuts away from the ball, gets it. Mid-post right, guarded by Hull. Turnaround shot, in and out. Ball punched out of bounds by Dallas. Fever get it with 7:44 left in the second quarter. And Indiana continuing to trail 26-24.
Now, Paige looks too comfortable, and she operates in her own speed of her own drum here, but she's got to be able to be sped up a little bit and a little indecisive.
7 points for Beckers. Hull left elbow, pressured by Beckers. Pass left corner. McDonald for three, too strong. Ball tapped around, won by Dallas. Quinterly zooming left to right, changing speeds at the arc, driving, blocked by Boston. McDonald has the loose ball. Touchdown pass to Cunningham in stride, and she banks it in. Tied at 26 with 7:10 to go in the second quarter. Aerie looking like Caitlin.
Okay, one right after the other.
Not sure if Jerry Jones is here or not, but quite the combo for the Fever, who now force a turnover. Timpson is still in the paint. Passes front court right to McDonald, who loses the ball. It's coughed out of bounds towards a fan in the front row near the Fever bench. Like the score still knotted at 26 and 6:52 to go in the second quarter.
Those unforced turnovers there, and that's what typically kills us in the end. We've got to be able to take care of the ball. I like it when, if we're going at a fast pace and there's some mistakes in transition and things, those are mistakes that are okay, but those unforced, we got to be able to take care of that ball and get it and really punish them on the offensive end.
Fever have turned it over 7 times. The Wings only 4 times. Beckers pursuing left lane. Now cycles out a switch. Timpson's on her. Gives it up to Agumbawale. Lob pass left block. And an offensive foul called on Dallas. Going against the post, McCowan. As now Stephanie White brings in Chloe Bibby for KK Timpson. In case you missed it earlier, Chloe signed earlier today to a contract for the rest of the season. She had been on just a 7-day deal, but a successful audition for her through 2 games played.
Man, that's got to feel good. What an accomplishment.
Mitchell, blow by, lefty layup, too easy. 28-26 Fever with 6:20 to go in the second quarter. Beckers left to right, guarded by Bibby after a switch. Beckers bouncing near her bench, a shimmy, into the paint. Rifles a pass, right elbow, Agumbawale, fade away. Here the left elbow is good. Ties it at 28 with 6 and change to go in the second quarter. McDonald left wing, finds Cunningham in stride again. Lays it in on the left side.
That's good. That's good offense. Just knowing where each other's at, that chemistry's coming alive.
30-28 as Carrington misses a bunny left to the basket. Rebound Fever. McDonald open. Left wing. Attack. Sends it right side. Bibby tees it up. And connects. Timeout Dallas. That's why they signed her. Chloe Bibby extends the lead to 5. It's 33-28 with 5:38 to go in this second quarter. And we're back after this from Dallas. You're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
What's the hottest ticket in town? The Indiana Fever. The best way to get there? Indigo. Catch the fever by catching the bus. Indigo's Mikey acts as your fast break pass to experience high-octane Fever basketball, all while avoiding parking fees and traffic jams. Playing your Fever game night with Indigo. Visit indigo.net/how-to-ride to plan your trip and get connected to Mikey. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the game. Indigo, the best way to catch the fever.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. T&Cs apply.
This is Jeff Wheeler, business manager of IBEW Local 41. We power the moments that matter most and provide the tech that makes it all possible. From the schools where your kids learn and the healthcare facilities that care for your loved ones, to the excitement of every big game. IBEW Local 41 is at the heart of it all. Whether it's game day or every day, our union members ensure everything runs smoothly. IBEW Local 41, proudly powering your community.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment to recognize U.S. Foods, a proud sponsor of the Indiana Fever. At U.S. Foods, quality is their top priority. From sourcing the finest ingredients to delivering exceptional products, they are committed to helping customers succeed. Whether it's in the kitchen or on the court, they support the highest levels of excellence. Thank you, U.S. Foods, for your dedication to quality and supporting our team, who's also driven to be the best. U.S. Foods, we help you make it.
This is Lexi Hull, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Well, for the season, Lexi ranking 9th in the WNBA in three-point shooting percentage. Better than 40%. Fever right now up 33-28 with 5:38 to go in the second quarter against the Wings in Dallas. And although Lexi has yet to make a three so far, Fever have made a few, including one from Chloe Bibby off the bench just before the timeout. Kelsey Mitchell's got one. Sydney Colson's got one. Dallas yet to make a three.
Yeah, and they've only shot 4 at that. And going back to Bibby, she might be one of the best players that I've seen come off the bench and that three ball be automatic. I'm talking 90-95% of players, when they come off of the bench, they want to get up and down a little bit first before they shoot a three. But not Bibby. Bibby says, give me the rock. This one's going up, and it usually goes down.
Doing it with the purple sneakers on her, violet officially, after she was playing with the Golden State Valkyries earlier this year, but Fever glad to have her now. She's defending against Beckers, who pulls from the foul line and draws a foul on Bibby with 5:29 left in the first half. And the Fever up 33-28. 2 free throws on the right side for Beckers, who's 3rd in the league in steals per game, 6th in points per game, 8th in assists per game, and the rookie even 4th in minutes played per game. First free throw flushes in. Shooting at the right side basket with the American flag and the Canadian flag in the backdrop, and she sinks the second as well. Mavericks championship banner and retired jersey numbers, including 41 for Dirk, across the way from us, right sideline. Fever have it left side as Boston drives, and she's blocked by Geiselsuter. Wings left to right. Fever have a 33-30 lead. 5 and change to go in the half. An off ball, a foul called on Indiana. A hold on Sophie Cunningham, who is trying to stick with Beckers. In this second quarter, Dallas has yet to be called for a foul, while the Fever have been whistled for 3. Sideline out of bounds to Beckers, who bounces at the Wings logo. Crossing up against Bibby. Long 2 left side, and she drills it. They mentioned they have not made a 3 yet. They have made a heck of a lot of long 2s.
Yeah.
1-point lead for the Fever. Boston left baseline, backing down Geiselsuter. Bibby gets loose left corner. Fires. She can't miss. Chloe Bibby heating up. It's 36-32 Fever with 4:33 to go in the half.
I think she was even hit a little high five on that.
Yeah, while she was open initially, she wasn't behind the line, as now Beckers takes a long 2 from the right side. It's no good, and the ball's out of bounds. Actually, a foul called against Dallas. Goes against Isaiah James, pursuing an offensive rebound. Stephanie White now will bring back the starter, Tosh Howard, and Bibby gets a row of high fives as she heads to the bench. 4:22 to play in the second quarter, and the Fever up 36-32 in Dallas. Boston between the rings to Mitchell up top behind the back. Chest pass right side. Howard inside to Boston, who banks it in after a shot fake. 38-32 Fever. This matches the biggest lead of the game for either side. James, right elbow, step back now, crosses up Sophie, finger roll layup, falls, hit the right side of the rim and dropped in. Sophie, left arc, Surveys, finds Howard. Left block, a jab to the right. Spin move on Jones. One-handed shot. Doesn't go, but a foul called and 2 free throws coming for Tosh. As there's some chirping down in the paint. We're broadcasting from a concourse level. Again, this is a huge arena. Seats more than 20,000, so more than a few thousand by comparison to Gamebridge Fieldhouse. And this building, though, not at capacity. And how spoiled are we, Bria, where it feels weird to see some empty seats for a Fever game. First free throw, pure for Tosh.
Yes.
Almost at 70% at the line this year.
And you said it right, spoiled. Because even before, I was like, this is kind of weird. You were like, well, this holds a lot of people.
Nearly all the seats in the lower section of the seating bowl are occupied. Second free throw drops in off the side of the rim. 40-34 Fever, 3:40 to go second quarter. And they've got a couple levels of suites and some regular seats in between, and then an upper deck, and that's where there are more empty spots. Left elbow jumper, no good. Agumbawale, Fever in transition. Howard attacking right, misses, but a blocking foul is called. Oddly enough, the crew chief, Tim Green, he signaled blocking foul. Not sure he used his whistle as players continued to go after it. And then he was like, oh, let me use this thing that's
attached to my neck. And you know what? We always say, because it's usually so loud in here, we can't even hear whistles at times. So I didn't know if they called or not, but the way that they continued to play, I mean, it was definitely a foul. She just didn't have good inside position.
Jones called for the blocking foul. So each team now called for 3 fouls in the quarter. And Tosh makes another free throw. 3 in a row for her. Individually now, Jones has been called for 3 fouls. So Haley Jones, the 6'1" forward, former collegiate teammate of Lexi Holes at Stanford. Won a national championship together against Ari McDonald.
Yep.
Second free throw, back rim, no. Rebound, Dallas. Left to right, Beckers. Flips a pass, left arc, Geisel Suter. Jones now still in the game with the 3 fouls. Agumbawale, and an offensive foul called on Dallas. It is on Jones, and that is the 4th on the starting forward.
That's huge. That's a big mistake there. Is just a little too aggressive. Honestly, it probably just could have been a handoff instead of a little flip screen, because that gave out of position for her, and Agumbawale was just going way too fast.
It was McDonald who drew it. Now McDonald handling left side, passes right wing. Kelsey for 3, short, and a rebound for the Wings. They push. Agumbawale threads the needle with a bounce pass right to the basket, and Quinterly lays it in. Make it Isaiah James, a rookie from NC State. 41-36, 2:40 to go second quarter. Cunningham near the foul line, backpedaling, lobs a pass right wing. Howard looking for spacing, still dribbling towards the right elbow. Shovel pass, AB, 5 on the shot clock. McDonald wants 3, give her 3. Drains it from up top. 44-36 Fever, biggest lead so far.
Now that 3 ball is an equalizer right now, is why we've been able to keep this lead.
As they continue to go for the mid-range jumpers, it's Paige Beckers who puts it in. 44-38, 2:08 to go in the second quarter, and McDonald is fouled on the left baseline. Pausing the clock with 2:08 to go in the second quarter. And there's a break in the action. Fever 44, Wings 38. In Dallas, you're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with Healthy Indiana plan benefits, we help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining health insurance.
Need a winning play for your halftime hunger? Chicken Salad Chick has you covered. We make every recipe from scratch daily with the freshest ingredients because you deserve nothing less than delicious. Enjoy 12 varieties of chicken salad, pimento cheese, and egg salad at any of our 7 local restaurants. Chicken Salad Chick is a proud sponsor of the Indiana Fever. Learn more at chickensaladchick.com.
From hook shots to fishing hooks and backyard grills to lake chills, Academy Sports and Outdoors has all you need to find your fun this season. And when fun's the goal, anything is possible. We're here for pre-game gear-ups, camping trip do-withouts, and days when the best things in life happen right outside your back door. Swing by your local Academy or shop academy.com for the top brands in the game at undefeatable prices. There's no match for fun, and fun can't lose at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
When it comes to your education, WGU helps you stay in the game. Whether you're working full-time, raising a family, or juggling both, WGU's online accredited programs help you earn a degree in business, technology, education, or healthcare on your schedule. You can even score your degree faster by taking tests and turning in assignments as soon as you're ready. Join the thousands of students across Indiana who are making big plays for their future. Learn more at wgu.edu.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. Choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more at the grand opening of the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com.
Cover me! This is Kelsey Mitchell, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Kels with 9 points so far in the first half. 9 as well for Natasha Howard, who, by the way, also has 7 rebounds. Those actually all came in the first quarter, which is pretty crazy. And so the Fever have a 44-38 lead with 2:08 to go in the second quarter. Dallas with Bria Goss. I'm John Nolan. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend here as the Fever start this 4-game road trip following the timeout. It's Ari McDonald shooting 2 at the left side basket. Takes the first, and the backdrop behind the hoop here on the left side. Retired numbers for the Dallas Stars as the second free throw hits the left side of the rim and falls through. 46-38, matching the largest lead of the game for the Fever. Paige Beckers playing point this possession for Dallas. Dribbling near the logo, guarded by Sophie. Floats a pass to left wing, Agumbawale. Gives it to Geiselshooter up top. Back to a cutting Agumbawale, who's fouled right at the rim by Cunningham. Sophie adamant that she did nothing wrong there, twirling her right index finger in the direction of Stephanie White. And the Fever bench, they look back to the second row. Head video coordinator Adam Helmer. He's got a laptop, and he indicates, not worth using that coach's challenge here at this point in the first half.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the replay, wasn't a lot of contact, and I always go back to what Aaliyah is battling down there versus that tip for tat foul, but, you know, they called it. It is what it is.
The Fighting Irish legend, who's the second best free throw shooter in the W this year, hits both, better than 92%. Fever up 46-40 with 1:45 to go in the half. McDonald between the rings, handling passes left side. Sophie for 3, misses to the right. Tosh, rebound number 8, reload. Kelsey driving, floater, doesn't fall. Rebound wings. Paige, eyes down the floor. Beckers brings it front court right. Weaving into the Navy paint, pulls and hits. From about 10 feet away, 46-42. Fever lead trimmed to 4. McDonald up top. Bounce pass left elbow. Aaliyah dribble handoff. Kelsey at the foul line. Crosses over left to right. Rifles a pass right wing. Tosh. A whistle off ball. It's on Hines Allen, who is fronting Aaliyah. It's the 5th foul of the quarter against the Wings, so Aaliyah will shoot 2 with 1:05 to go till halftime.
Rebound number 8. She has an opportunity to get a double-double before the end of the first half here.
Tosh with 6 double-doubles on the year. That's top 10 in the W. Aaliyah, don't forget, has had a double-double in 4 consecutive games for the first time in her still pretty young career. And for the season, Aaliyah, the second most double-doubles in the W, 11 behind only Angel Reese.
Yeah.
First free throw, good for AB. And now the second, a swish. 48-42 Fever. A minute plus left in the half. Beckers brings it across the logo. Bounce pass left elbow, Hines Allen. Back to the basket. Howard knocked it away, but it's gathered by Dallas. Agumbawale misses a short corner jumper out of bounds off the Fever. 14 on the shot clock, 52 seconds to go in the half. And Indiana ahead 48-42. Baseline out of bounds. It goes to Geisel Suter near the Dallas bench. Dribble handoff to James, who wears a black headband, swings it, left corner, Beckers, feeds inside, Geisel Suter, gives to a cutting Hines Allen, who's called for a travel. So the Fever get it with 40 seconds to play in the second quarter.
Yeah. It's good defensive possession there. Just bobbled the ball and then getting that travel.
Mitchell, top of the key, passes to Airy, looking inside for Aaliyah. Instead, stolen by Hines Allen. Kick ahead, right wing, Agumbawale. Plays catch with Hines Allen. 20 seconds to go in the half. About a 5-second difference. Shot to game clock. Agumbawale guarded by Mitchell. Give and go with Geisel Suter. Now a pick and pop. Pass right wing. Hines Allen for 3. A brick to the right. Aaliyah the rebound. 6 seconds to go in the half. Handoff in the backcourt to Airy. Across the logo. 2 seconds to go in the half. Airy driving. Floater off the backboard. No. And that does it for the first 20 minutes. It's the Fever 48. The Wings 42 in Dallas.
Man, they should be feeling good coming into the locker room, as there was just some shots that didn't fall come towards the end. There's a few things to tune up. One being the turnovers and being able to take care of the ball, being a little bit more disruptive on defense. But all in all, I think Coach Steph White should be pretty satisfied with how this first 20 minutes went.
Probably looking to clean up the turnovers. Yeah. Ultimately, 9 turnovers in the first half. Though could be worse. Dallas only converted 6 points off of those. And the Fever will probably have to watch out for the law of averages applying in terms of the Wings making a 3 at some point. They finished the first half 0 for 5 from behind the arc. So coming up here during the intermission, we'll take a listen back to highlights from the first half. We'll go over more of the numbers. Bria will break things down and get you ready for the second half from the American Airlines Center, where again it's the Fever leading 48-42 against the Wings. Halftime coverage after this as you're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Better Water starts with a free water analysis from C&J Water, proud partner of the Indiana Fever. From hard water solutions to pure, great-tasting drinking water, C&J Water is committed to helping you enjoy better water in every glass, load of laundry, and shower. Schedule your free water analysis today at cnjwater.com and discover how much better your water can be. C&J Water, local, trusted, and the choice of the Indiana Fever.
Hey, I'm ordering dinner. I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through June 2nd, 2025.
Hey fans, Sophie Cunningham here. If you have private student loan debt and are behind or even in default, you gotta call my friends at Y Refi. YRefi refinances private student loans that others won't touch, and they provide you with a custom loan payment based on your ability to pay. And YRefi does not care what your credit score is. Just give them a call at 888-YRefi-34. That's 888-YRefi-34. Or go to yrefy.com. That's YREFY.com.
Disney's Descendant Zombies Worlds Collide Tour, live in concert, Friday, August 8th at Cambridge Fieldhouse. A one-of-a-kind live concert experience starring Kylie Cantrell, Freya Scott, Malia Baker, Malachi Barton, Dara Renee, Joshua Colley, and Makana Knife, live on stage, singing all the hits from the movies. Tickets on sale now at DescendantZombiesLive.com.
This is Natasha Howard, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Tosh trending towards her 7th double-double of the season. In regular season games, she had one in the Commissioner's Cup Championship that doesn't officially count, but 9 points and a game-best 8 rebounds in the first half for Howard, and the Fever lead in Dallas 48-42. I'm John Nolan. To my right, Bria Costa. Her right, our engineer Ken Mendez. Eddie Garrison back in studio in Indy. Hope you have had a wonderful week so far, a good start to your weekend. Fever here pursuing a 4th consecutive win, something they have not accomplished yet so far this year, and leading 48-42 at the break.
Yeah, and it's definitely well within their realm to do so. Again, there's a few things that need to be tuned up. One being the ability to take care of the ball, especially those unforced turnovers. I like where their head's at as far as the pace, but being able to control the ball, control the tempo is going to be super important, especially in these first few minutes of the third quarter. So I'll be taking a look at that. I love the way that Howard was able to start this game, and I've said it once, I'll say it again. When she gets going early, she typically has a pretty well-rounded game. That's exactly what happened. They were able to find her in transition. They did a really good job. She did a really good job going after the O boards, not being stagnant on offense, setting good screens, moving with a purpose and without the ball. So love that. And then, of course, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston doing Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston things going in. So one thing, again, that they need to tune up to is their defensive intensity. I mean, Paige, who has 15, just looks way too comfortable. That's a lot of switching. Got to be able to communicate early, let her know that, you got to let her know that your presence is known. So coming in, seeing they can be a little bit more disruptive, I think should be big. Other than that, she's really the only one that's in double figures and really doing a good job leading this team, but maybe taking more hits of slowing her down should be a pretty forefront on their radar.
Yeah, Becker's without attempting a 3 officially. She actually was fouled on a 3 and for the half made all 5 free throws, but 15 points to lead all scores. This big crowd here at the 20,000 plus seat American Airlines Center watching with bated breath as the duo known as Perch performs at center court. It's a bald gentleman and a female partner, and the guy has a very tall pole right now balancing on his head, and the woman is some, 25 plus feet above him in the air doing acrobatics. So while Bria and everyone else here looks on with bated breath, let's take a listen back to highlights from the first half. Kelsey Mitchell, pretty pass to Howard, who scores rim right. Kelsey right there, crafty, no look.
Highlight real Kelsey Mitchell behind the back. Ooh, that was nasty.
Kelsey left wing, step back against Paige, bounces towards the corner, gives it at the foul line. Aaliyah, she finds Lexi, right corner in front of the bench for 3. It's short. Offensive rebound for Tosh. Trying to navigate around Yaron, she does. Carrington feeds in the paint. Hines Allen, baby hook, good. And that locks up the score at 20 with a minute to go in the opening quarter. Mitchell with a burst to the left wing. Blow by against Carrington and lays it in. That ends the first period. The Fever and the Wings tied at 22 at the American Airlines Center in downtown Dallas. Quinterly zooming left to right, changing speeds at the arc, driving, blocked by Boston. McDonald has the loose ball. Touchdown pass to Cunningham in stride, and she banks it in. 30-28 as Carrington misses a bunny left to the basket. Rebound Fever. McDonald open left wing attack, sends it right side. Bibby tees it up and connects. 1 point lead for the Fever. Boston left baseline, backing down Geiselsuiter. Bibby gets loose left corner, fires. She can't miss. Cunningham near the foul line, backpedaling, lobs a pass right wing. Howard looking for spacing, still dribbling towards the right elbow. Shovel pass, AB, 5 on the shot clock. McDonald wants 3. Give her 3. That does it for the first 20 minutes. It's the Fever 48, the Wings 42 in Dallas. Again, the Fever starting a 4-game road trip that'll continue on Sunday at Seattle, Tuesday in LA, next Thursday at Phoenix, before the next home game will be a week from tomorrow against the Chicago Sky. August is underway. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the second half in Dallas. Fever up 48-42. You're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Hey, I'm ordering dinner. I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through June 2nd, 2025.
The Indiana Fever trust OrthoIndy as their official orthopedic provider, and so can you. From game-time injuries to everyday mishaps, OrthoIndy Urgent Care is your fast, affordable alternative to the ER. Walk in, skip the wait, and see an orthopedic expert. No appointment needed. Injuries happen. OrthoIndy is ready. Find a location near you at orthoindy.com. OrthoIndy, trusted by the pros. Here for you.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with Healthy Indiana plan benefits, we help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining health insurance.
Hosting a watch party? Score big with catering from Chicken Salad Chick. From tailgates to team celebrations, we bring fresh, flavorful chicken salad inside straight to your event. With 12 crave-worthy flavors, there's something for every fan. Order your game day spread at chickcatering.com. Proud sponsor of the Indiana Fever.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment to recognize U.S. Foods, a proud sponsor of the Indiana Fever. At U.S. Foods, quality is their top priority. From sourcing the finest ingredients to delivering exceptional products, they are committed to helping customers succeed. Whether it's in the kitchen or on the court, they support the highest levels of excellence. Thank you, U.S. Foods, for your dedication to quality and supporting our team, who's also driven to be the best. U.S. Foods, we help you make it.
This is Sophie Cunningham, and you're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Sophie and the Fever up 48-42 at the half at American Airlines Center in downtown Dallas. This is not normally where the Wings play. As a matter of fact, their only games here this year are their matchups against the Fever, because typically they play at the College Park Center in Arlington, campus of UT Arlington. That only seats about 7,000. And their most recent game there, they actually did not sell it out when they lost by 3 against the Atlanta Dream. We'll step aside when we come back. Second half coverage as the Fever try to win their 4th in a row. You're listening to Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
National Online Auction featuring over 150 pieces of rare sports memorabilia from more than 80 sports teams and players. Just scan the QR code to bid today. The auction closes on August 8th. Thank you for your support.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. T&Cs apply.
What's the hottest ticket in town? The Indiana Fever. The best way to get there? Indigo. Catch the fever by catching the bus. Indigo's MyKey acts as your fast break pass to experience high-octane Fever basketball, all while avoiding parking fees and traffic jams. Plan your Fever game night with Indigo. Visit indigo.net/how-to-ride to plan your trip and get connected to MyKey. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the game. Indigo, the best way to catch the fever.
I'm Lynn Dunn, Senior Advisor to the Indiana Fever. I've seen the power of women who lead, at home, on the court, and in life. If you think your child may be showing signs of autism, trust your gut. Early detection matters. Don't wait, don't wonder. Visit daymar.org today. You'll find answers, support, and a team that walks beside you. Every child deserves a chance, and the right assist can change everything.
When it comes to your education, WGU helps you stay in the game. Whether you're working full-time, raising a family, or juggling both, WGU's online accredited programs help you earn a degree in business, technology, education, or healthcare on your schedule. You can even score your degree faster by taking tests and turning in assignments as soon as you're ready. Join the thousands of students across Indiana who are making big plays for their future. Learn more at wgu.edu.
From buzzer beaters to buzzbait and cornhole to canoes, Academy Sports and Outdoors has all you need to find your fun. And when fun's the goal, anything is possible. We're here for pre-game gear-ups, camping trip do-withouts, and days when the best things in life happen right outside your back door. Swing by your local indie stores in Avon, Westfield, Greenwood, and Bloomington for the top brands in the game at undefeatable prices. There's no match for fun, and fun can't lose at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Friday night lights in Texas. Fever 48, Wings 42. Time for the third quarter, where fans at American Airlines Center were given blue rally towels on their seats when they enter. They wave them now as the second half starts, and the Wings have it going right to left. And they're primarily Navy uniforms. Paige Becker's playing point. Pass on the left wing intended for Arike Ogunbowale, deflected out by Kelsey Mitchell. Wings keep it with 11 on the shot clock.
And what about the full court pressure coming in for this quarter? I like that. I like that mindset. Maybe it can get us some rallied points.
Trying to up the pressure on D. Half-court offense for the Wings. Giroux doesn't know the shot clock's ticking down to the center, turns it over. She was around the foul line scanning, looking for help. No one was open. That defensive pressure continued.
I know. Look, me and Steph White, we're in the same cahoots here. No, that's why she makes the big bucks and I don't. But I like the way that they came in already being disruptive.
Now first offensive possession of the second half. A miss by Boston, an offensive rebound by Howard to McDonald. Back to Howard, shovel pass. Boston banks it in right at the basket. 50-42 Fever, matching their largest lead of the game so far. And Tosh now has 9-9. Becker's left corner three. Almost banked it in, but it's no good. Rebound snatched by McDonald. Airy pushing left to right. A whistle and then offensive foul. Goes on Airy. From our vantage point, Couldn't tell, but she must have pushed off.
Yeah, maybe too much on the elbow and a little bit of acting there, too, on the Dallas side, but she sold it.
A little bit more than a minute into the second half, 50-42 Fever. Wings on the left side. J.J. Quinterly handling at the foul line. Shot fake, leaner, short. Rebound number 10 for Tosh. Howard now brings it left to right, driving left lane, reverse layup, doesn't go. Second chance AB, no. Rebound Wings. Couple of bodies on the floor as Quinterly angles towards the right sideline. Lollipops a pass to Yeru between the rings, kicks left wing. Geisel Suter, and her pass inside, kicked out of bounds. Wings keep it with 11 on the shot clock. 8:23 to go in the third quarter, and Indiana leading 50-42.
A small miss bunny there by Aaliyah Boston on the putback, but a nice little tip. I think that was the right decision to make. Just kind of finish it.
Wings sub as Aisha Hines-Allen in off the bench for Geisel Suter. Baseline out of bounds, goes to Agumbawale down low, who scores it. Rather, Hines-Allen. 50-44, Fever the lead and the ball. Right half, Howard, dribble handoff to Mitchell, who muscles it away from Quinterly, who almost stole it. Kelsey still on the bounce, 7 on the shot clock. Left wing, rise and fire, short. Rebound, Dallas. Beckers jogs it across the timeline, right to left. Sophie picks her up. Pick and pop. Yeru, shot fake, driving left through traffic, misses. Almost corrals an offensive rebound. Instead, Boston has it. AB, point forward, pass, left wing. Airy for 3. It's good. Number 2 for 3.
Boy, how about the transition break from Aaliyah Boston going almost coast to coast and a wide open McDonald. A beautiful offense.
Airy's second triple of the night extends the lead to 9, 53-44. Beckers misfire from the foul line. Rebound, Boston. Pass right arc, McDonald. Bounce pass, Howard, short corner right. Bounce pass to a cutting Sophie, misses right of the basket. Rebound, Wings. Dallas right to left. Agumbawale changing speed, surging, pulls at the left elbow. Halfway down, pops out. Yeru, offensive rebound. Triple team, and it's a jump ball. We'll jump it up against Sophie. Sophie frustrated from the lack of a foul at the other end, but to her credit, playing hard on defense.
Yeah, she is. She doesn't let it affect too long. She didn't stay back and fall on the ground, pout, and shout at the refs. She said her piece and got on back to play some defense and got caught up in there.
Some gamesmanship as Aaliyah stepped to the foul line for the jump ball against Yeru, and then the officials say, wait a second.
Yeah.
And now it's Sophie jumping it up. So Sophie at 6'1" against the Olympian from China who's 6'7", and yet it's the Fever who win the jump ball. McDonald, though, overzealous pass intercepted by Beckers. Transition for the Wings. Agumbawale and Beckers play catch. Beckers has it top of the arc. Sends it to Hines-Allen at the logo. Pass into the paint, poked out of bounds by Boston. Dallas keeping it halfway through their shot clock. 6:35 to go, third quarter. This is the biggest lead of the game so far for the Fever, up 53-44.
That was a big high-low there as Hines-Allen was almost toes to the half-court line.
Yeah, not really an angle.
Yeah.
As Yeru has it near the left elbow, 7 on the shot clock, skip pass, Page, catch and shoot 3. No good, but for the second time tonight, she is fouled in the act of shooting from distance. This time it's on Tosh Howard. Stops the clock with 6:27 to go in the third quarter. And so Beckers, who's the leading scorer in this game with 15 points, and a third of those points coming from the foul line, can add more.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a little bit too undisciplined there. You want to be able to make them work for the buckets, not get easy buckets as she sinks that first one.
Close to 90% on the season.
And she knows how to get to the foul line. I think she does a good job using her body to make the contact and knows how to finish. And then again, if you don't press up on her, she doesn't need a lot of room. So dangerous player, this Page.
Becker, she's been a bucket since growing up in Minnesota. Remember, in the same class as Caitlin, Paige wound up redshirting due to injury during her college career at UConn, so that's why she was the number 1 pick this year after CC last year. Beckers connects on all three, so it's 53-47, 6:20 to go, third quarter. At the College Park Center logo that's on the floor here at American Airlines Center, Kelsey dribbling, and then an offensive foul is called. On the screen for Mitchell, Dejanay Carrington in off the bench for Dallas, drawing that offensive foul that goes against Aaliyah Boston. 53-47, Fever, wings ball, left side, Carrington, right perimeter. Passes right arc to Tierra McCowan. Handoff to Beckers, guarded by Cunningham. Beckers near the sideline, 7 on the shot clock. Sends it, Hines Allen driving towards the right elbow with 2 on the shot clock. Hoist, no good, loose underneath. Howard has the rebound. Tosh now with 11 boards and 9 points. 5:43 to go, third quarter. Mitchell between the rings, swings it left side. Sophia screen from Tosh, pick and roll. Tosh left block. Rifles a pass, right wing, Airy driving baseline, 5 on the shot clock, teardrop, doesn't go. Rebound, Beckers for Dallas. Almost midway through the third quarter, Fever up by 6. Beckers bouncing, pick and roll with Carrington, rejected by Tosh. Sophie has the loose ball, in transition, left to right, Kelsey, left side 3, bottoms! 56-47, 5:07 to go, third quarter, defense to offense.
That was beautiful sequence there, starting with Howard getting it done on both sides of the ball tonight.
And now Howard has a steal after a deflection from Cunningham. Ball touched out of bounds by Hines Allen towards the scorer's table. And there's a break in the action with 4:54 to go in the third quarter. And the Fever matching their largest lead of the game so far tonight on the road in Dallas. 56-47. Back with more after this. You're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Fever fans, get ready to bring the heat. It's game day and Chicken Salad Chick is here to fuel your fandom. With 12 fresh made-from-scratch chicken salad flavors, pimento cheese, and egg salad, we've got the perfect meal for every fan. Dine in with us, grab a meal to go, or order ahead for pickup. With 7 local restaurants, deliciousness is always within reach. Chicken Salad Chick is a proud sponsor of the Indiana Fever. Visit chickensaladchick.com to order now.
Better Water starts with a free water analysis from C&J Water, proud partner of the Indiana Fever. From hard water solutions to pure, great-tasting drinking water, C&J Water is committed to helping you enjoy better water in every glass, load of laundry, and shower. Schedule your free water analysis today at cnjwater.com and discover how much better your water can be. C&J Water, local, trusted, and the choice of the Indiana Fever.
Hey, I'm ordering dinner. I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through June 2nd, 2025.
Disney's Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide Tour, live in concert, Friday, August 8th at Cambridge Fieldhouse. A one-of-a-kind live concert experience starring Kylie Cantrell, Freya Sky, Malia Baker, Malachi Barton, Dara Renee, Joshua Colley, and Makana Knife, live on stage, singing all the hits from the movies. Tickets on sale now at DescendantsZombiesLive.com.
Did you know up to 50% of outdoor water use is wasted? And did you know that there are things you can do to help change that? Indiana American Water suggests that you water early or late in the day to reduce evaporation. Also, be sure to fix any leaks and skip watering when rain is in the forecast. Consider rain barrels, mulch your garden, and use drip irrigation for your plants. Be water wise. Conserve today, sustain tomorrow. Find more conservation tips at Indiana American Water's Wise Water Use Resources at indianaamwater.com.
This is Natasha Howard, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Tosh just a point away from her 7th double-double of this regular season as the Fever having some Friday night fun so far in Dallas, leading 56-47. In case you're looking for something still to do here on this Friday night, there's a Fever Bar Network watch party presented by Corona going on at Crafters Pizza and Draft House in Carmel. Make sure they've got our audio on there, too. No local TV tonight, just a national TV game, so we appreciate you tuning in here with us. Fever ball after the timeout. Again, it's 56-47 now, more than midway through the third quarter. Steph Colson, some action off the bench. Floats a pass to AB between the rings. Mitchell gets it up top. Back to Boston at the foul line. Passes right wing. Kelsey goes by Beckers. Pulls from the right elbow and drops it in. Biggest lead of the night for the Fever. 58-47. Indiana leading in Dallas.
Man, Mitchell just left her in the dust.
Kelsey up to 14 points now. Down low, right block. An easy two for McCowan, the former Fever big. 58-49. Colson quickly left to right in the white uniform. Pick and roll with Boston and now pulls. Mid-post misses. Offensive rebound. Tosh reset. Sid guarded by Beckers. Thought about a three up top instead. Give and go with AB. Skip pass. Alexi right corner three. Yes! 61-49 Fever. Indiana up a dozen in Dallas. With 3:49 to go in the third quarter, and a timeout called by the Wings. We'll keep it here. And 3:49 left in the third quarter, and the Fever have created some separation up 61-49.
Yeah, it's just offensive execution. And you know what? It helps when we make shots. I think it just makes the game so much more smoother, but the offensive execution there on both of those possessions, it looked like exactly what it would probably drawn up on the play. Being able to have that trust into your coaching staff and going out there and executing what they've run up, I think it's the biggest chemistry boost that you could have. So kudos to the Indiana Fever as they are, again, separating themselves from Dallas.
And if there's one stat to hone in on, it is the three-point shooting. The Fever now at 42% from beyond the arc in the game. They've made 8 of 19, while the Wings are 0 for 6 from distance.
And you know, I wonder why they've only taken 6. And maybe that's because in today's game, 6 3-point shots usually happen within the first 6 minutes of
especially
if you got Caitlin Clark playing. Especially if you have CC playing. So maybe that's just something that they've been able to talk about and trying to work more so into the middies and inside. So
and now, Bria, one thing that's an even bigger issue for the Wings, besides the three-point shooting and being down by 12, Paige Beckers coming out of the game. Dallas essentially called this timeout because Paige was limping, and right now she's on the bench next to an athletic trainer looking to be in some pain. So they're without their rookie star. Down a dozen going right to left. Dejanay Carrington guarded tightly by Lexi Holt. Drives towards the right elbow. Pick and roll. Pass inside to McGowan, who was fouled on the way up. Will shoot two with 3:32 to go in the third quarter. 61-49 Fever.
The 2 shots.
And Beckers is going to walk away from the bench towards an exercise bike.
Yeah, it looked like she was kind of holding her hip off of a screen collision from Aaliyah Boston. And maybe just got tight muscles. I don't know if you've ever had a muscle cramp before, but they're no joke. So going back and stretching it out, getting on the bike might be the best thing for it.
It's a non-athlete, regular person, a NARP, if you will, have experienced that before. Free throw is good for McGowan, 61-51. Howard drives, passes left corner. Alexi catch and shoot at this time. Ball tapped around. Tosh gets it, puts it up. No. Dantas, third chance. Her shot altered. Loose ball on the baseline. Lexi dives for it. It's out of bounds. And the Wings will have it, but The ultimate hustle from Hull.
Which, if there's one thing that she's going to do, Lexi Hull is going to give 110% every time she's on the floor.
That was like a football player lunging for some extra yardage the way she went after it. Now it's Colson with cookies. A steal against Carrington at midcourt. Passes down the floor to Kelsey, who tried to oop it off the alley but missed. Haley Jones the other way. Out of control layup. Good from the left side. 61-53. It's a little 4-0 flurry for the Wings without Beckers. 2:43 to go, third quarter. Sometimes we hear Steph White say, to use another sport analogy, go for singles, not the home run play, as Mitchell makes a long two straight on. That previous possession was definitely a case of trying to go for the home run instead of the single. But
agreed.
Mitchell now up to 16 points, a team best. McGowan right baseline drive, Baker good. 63-55, Fever up 2:13 to go in the third. Wings still lingering. Pick and pop, Colson at Dantas. It's good. Three from the left wing. 66-55, Fever under 2 to go in the third.
Now we have made more three-pointers than they have attempted at this point.
A steal for Lexi, all by herself, left to right, lays it in. Took it away from Carrington. And Carrington then with words for the official, Agana Bazzi, with 95 seconds to go in the third quarter. 68-55 Fever, new largest lead of the game. Agumbawale has been pretty quiet tonight, guarded by Colson. A shake up top, blow by, finger roll layup, too strong, but a foul on Howard at the end of it. And Carrington is right now essentially stalking the official Abazi, who's being quite patient. We might even be able to hear.
Yeah, she's talking about the collision between Lexi Hull and herself, as it would look like to be a non-ball handoff there. It was really just one of those unfortunate things. I don't think it was anything intentional. I don't think it was anything spiteful, but there was some above the shoulder action there, and then DJ Carrington ended up on the ground.
Appreciate the work of our engineer, Ken Mendez, helping us listen in there. As Agumbawale, you can also hear, knocks down both free throws. 68-57 Fever. 1:20 to go in the third quarter. Chloe Bibby back in off the bench, has it right arc, passes right corner, Kelsey, guarded by Jones. Kelsey jabs left, rips through, drives right baseline, muscling it up, no, gets her miss, passes right wing, Bibby wide open, heat check for her, loose ball, won by Carrington, exploding down the floor, right to left, to Agumbawale, bricks a three off to the left from the left wing, rebound Dantas, hand off in the backcourt, Lexi, pass up ahead, Kelsey, left elbow, hesitation, resets with Sydney, left sideline, back to Kelsey, who's called for a travel near the Dallas bench, with 46 seconds left in the third quarter. Fever in front, 68-57.
That was tough there. It's a good sequence, just a couple missed buckets. But if you talk about pulling away, Dallas is kind of keeping around because of those same little bunnies that they're missing.
Wings have it left side. Quinterly a burst in the lane, and an offensive foul called against Dallas. It's on Carrington.
She's hot.
And it's drawn by Lexi Hull, adding to her league-leading tally in offensive fouls drawn. That came on the sideline near the Fever bench. So Lexi has drawn 27 offensive fouls this year, 11 more than anyone else in the league. Dantas left wing three, around and out to the left. Rebound pulled down by Carrington, off to the races right to left, spins around the hoop. Wild shot off the backboard, no. Rebound Fever. Shot clock off here in the third quarter. Indiana up 68-57. Steph White jumping up and down, calling out a play. Kelsey going downhill around a screen, and a defensive foul called on Agumbawale, who knocked over the taller Dantas with 5.6 seconds to go in the third. Not a free throw situation. It'll be a sideline out of bounds in front of the scorer's table. Colson will be the inbounder out there with Hull, Dantas, Bibby, and Mitchell, all shooters. Colson inbounds. Mitchell near the Dallas bench. Reaching on Carrington with 3.5 seconds to go in the quarter. And now it will be 2 free throws for Kelsey.
Oh, you got to be a little bit more disciplined. But like I said, she's hot. She's been hot the last several possessions, going way back to when she felt like she got hit in the face.
Well, maybe even going way back to last year. There's some history between Carrington and the Fever.
That's true. Even though she was with Connecticut, it still traveled on over to Dallas.
First free throw good for Mitchell. 69-57 Fever. And for the Wings, continuing to play without Paige Beckers on the court. Exited the game midway through the third quarter with an apparent injury. Second free throw good for Kelsey. 2 seconds to go in the quarter. Midcourt three for Quinterly off the backboard. Nope. And going into the fourth quarter now, the Fever lead the Wings 70-57. Final quarter after this. You're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with Healthy Indiana plan benefits, we help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining health insurance.
The Indiana Fever trust OrthoIndy as their official orthopedic provider, and so can you. From game time injuries to everyday mishaps, OrthoIndy Urgent Care is your fast, affordable alternative to the ER. Walk in, skip the wait, and see an orthopedic expert. No appointment needed. Injuries happen. OrthoIndy is ready. Find a location near you at orthoindy.com. OrthoIndy, trusted by the pros. Here for you.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment to recognize U.S. Foods, a proud sponsor of the Indiana Fever. At U.S. Foods, quality is their top priority. From sourcing the finest ingredients to delivering exceptional products, they are committed to helping customers succeed. Whether it's in the kitchen or on the court, they support the highest levels of excellence. Thank you, U.S. Foods, for your dedication to quality and supporting our team, who's also driven to be the best. U.S. Foods, we help you make it.
This is Jeff Wheeler, business manager of IBEW Local 481. We power the moments that matter most and provide the tech that makes it all possible. From the schools where your kids learn and the healthcare facilities that care for your loved ones to the excitement of every big game, IBEW Local 41 is at the heart of it all. Whether it's game day or every day, our union members ensure everything runs smoothly. IBEW Local 481, proudly powering your community.
This is the exclusive radio home of the Indiana Fever.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
This is Cindy Colson, and you're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Sid and the Fever up 70-57 entering the fourth quarter at American Airlines Center in downtown Dallas. Start of the fourth quarter, and Stephanie White has Chloe Bibby, Sydney, Sophie Cunningham, Alexi Hull, and Damiris Dantas on the floor. Paige Beckers is back in for the wing. She's guarding Sophie, top of the arc. Sophie tosses a pass to Damiris outside the perimeter on the left. Playing catch with Sydney, handoff to Chloe. Ball poked away, 3 on the shot clock. Pass left elbow, Dantas fadeaway jumper, no good. And the rebound for Dallas. Wings right to left in navy and bright green. It's Isaiah James, right arc, launching a 3 and hitting. First 3 of the game for Dallas. after they were without one for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Sid splits traffic at the right elbow, picks up the dribble, bounce pass, Dantas, right block, back down on Jones, fadeaway shot, in and out, and a rebound for the Wings. Couple of shots right there reminiscent of the form of the late great Kobe Bryant. We were told one of his daughters, Natalia, would be in attendance tonight. As a foul is called on the Fever on the left side of the court. Not quite the star-studded event here in Dallas as the first matchup between these teams here this year. You had multiple members of the Cowboys in attendance for that one. Now they're in training camp.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving was here.
Oh, yeah. Cooper had just got to town and came to the game.
Yeah.
Cooper Flag.
At midcourt, a steal. Bibby ahead to Cunningham. Lays it in right at the rim. 72-60 Fever with 8:45 left. Quinterly driving left alley, and she's fouled. Will shoot 2. With 8:45 to go in the game, Fever didn't get back quickly enough after the fast break points.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as the ball goes to the net, the Dallas Wings already hurrying up, taking it out, and pushing it down the floor. You got to be able to stop the ball a little bit earlier than that.
First of 2, nothing but net for the 5'8", 22-year-olds. J.J. Quinterly, just a third-round pick. Became the first player since 1999 to be selected in the 3rd round and go on in a rookie season to start a game and score more than 15 points in 4 straight games. It's the second also, 72-62. So for Dallas, which had the number 1 pick last year, coming off of an awful season, they're in a rebuild mode, have some pieces. Dantas down low, stuffed by Jones. Transition for Dallas, right to left. Hines Allen misses the running banker. Boarded by Sophie, hands it off to Sydney. One-handed pass down the floor, intercepted by Quinterly. Again, a fast break. Beckers, right wing. Colson slows her down. Beckers drives to the right elbow, hangs and hits. Timeout, Steph White. Fever had been up as many as 13. It's been trimmed down to 8:72-64. 8:08 to go. And a break in the action. You're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Hosting a watch party? Score big with catering from Chicken Salad Chick. From tailgates to team celebrations, we bring fresh, flavorful chicken salad inside straight to your event. With 12 crave-worthy flavors, there's something for every fan. Order your game day spread at chickcatering.com. Proud sponsor of the Indiana Fever.
Parents notice when something feels off. A look, a sound, a movement, a silence. Parents don't need all the answers, just the courage to ask the right questions. If a child may be showing signs of autism, early detection matters. Daymar is here to help with answers, support, and a team ready to help. Visit daymar.org today. Every child deserves a chance, and sometimes the most powerful move is to ask for help.
Hey fans, Sophie Cunningham here. If you have private student loan debt and are behind or even in default, you gotta call my friends at YRefi. YRefi refinances private student loans that others won't touch, and they provide you with a custom loan payment based on your ability to pay. And YRefi does not care what your credit score is. Just give them a call at 888-YRefi-34. That's 888-YRefi-34. Or go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com.
This copyrighted telecast of WNBA Enterprises may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise used in any form without the express written consent of WNBA Enterprises.
This
This is Lexi Hull, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Lexi and the Fever with a 72-64 lead in Dallas with 8:08 to go. But Bria, the Wings have started the fourth quarter on a 7-2 run. What's key for the Fever to finish this one?
Yeah, they've got to be a little bit more disciplined on the offensive end and getting into sets. Looks like we're a little stagnant, waiting for screens to be set, not all on the same page. So tune that up. I think we'll be good. And then on the defensive end, we know that the three-point line hasn't worked in the Wings' favor, so I think they're going to start looking for that a little bit more.
Fever ball, full court pressure from the Wings. Indiana with the starting five on the floor, with the exception of Lexi Hull being in there right now instead of Kelsey Mitchell. Boston, top of the arc, pressured, 8 on the shot clock, pass right wing Lexi. Gets a screen from AB, goes left around it, 3 on the shot clock, pass to Airy, she heaves, and heads over Beckers. Big bucket. 75-64. Fever with 7:35 left.
McDonald is just playing with so much confidence, and she's ready to go, ready to make an impact.
Had the career high last time out, 11 points in this game. Pick and roll. Beckers to Jones, good, and a foul on Boston with 7:25 remaining. It's 75-66, and Jones will shoot one.
And that was a little of a hip check there, but not too much. I think we've seen worse, but a foul nonetheless. And Boston's got to be careful as she's just racked up her third foul.
No one for the Fever has more than those 3 fouls. Free throw good, 75-67. Boston, right arc, guarded by Hines Allen, facing up. Goes left, spins right, in the paint. Hines Allen strips it away. It's out of bounds off Boston. Dallas ball, 7:07 left. 75-65. Fever trying to protect the lead.
Yeah.
The rookie, J.J. Quinterly, playing point for the Wings, guarded by McDonald at the logo, angling left. Airy reaches in, poked it away. Quinterly recovers, sends it to Jones, dribbling towards the right sideline, changing speed, spinning, driving right lane, puts it up off the backboard. No, a foul called against Dallas. It's on Isaiah James, the other rookie in the backcourt, who went over the back. First foul against Dallas in the fourth quarter. Fever have been called for 3. 6:47 remaining in the game. Indiana ball up by 8.
And they're looking for Jones. They're looking for Jones to make something shake on the offensive end. And with the season that she's had, I'm glad to see where her confidence is at.
Yeah, going to have a bright future ahead, but right now it's the Fever trying to win a 4th game in a row. Boston right elbow, skip pass, Tosh, left baseline, driving, puts it up, doesn't go. Sophie, an offensive rebound underneath. Trying to reset with Airy instead, picked off by Paige Beckers. To Hines Allen, across midcourt, bounce pass to the right corner, Jones, bounce pass right block, Beckers, Lexi reaching in, Paige, rifles a pass, left corner, James for 3, airballs it, too strong, rebound, Tosh, it's her 14th of the game. To Airy, front court, left sideline, crosses over to the right. Steph wanted a foul away from the ball. They're being physical with AB inside. Bounce pass, Tosh looking for AB. Hines Allen stepped in front, has a steal, and she's fouled by Boston. And Hines Allen is holding her left ankle as she's down on the floor in pain, and the clock stopped with 5:54 to go. Fever 75, Wings 67. Hines Allen still down around the right elbow on the right half of the floor. And Steph is going to use a timeout here for a coach's challenge. So a timeout on the court with 5:54 to go. And like the entire Dallas team now is hovering around Hines Allen. So a little bit of an odd situation here. And it's the final media timeout. So we'll regather with 5:54 to go. Fever 75, Wings 67, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
From hook shots to fishing hooks and backyard grills to lake chills, Academy Sports and Outdoors has all you need to find your fun this season. And when fun's the goal, anything is possible. We're here for pre-game gear-ups, camping trip do-withouts, and days when the best things in life happen right outside your back door. Swing by your local Academy or shop academy.com for the top brands in the game at undefeatable prices. There's no match for fun, and fun can't lose at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hey, I'm ordering dinner. I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through June 2nd, 2025.
When it comes to your education, WGU helps you stay in the game. Whether you're working full-time, raising a family, or juggling both, WGU's online accredited programs help you earn a degree in business, technology, education, or healthcare on your schedule. You can even score your degree faster by taking tests and turning in assignments as soon as you're ready. Join the thousands of students across Indiana who are making big plays for their future. Learn more at WGU.edu.
Radio 1 is seeking a general sales manager to lead our sales operations in Indianapolis. The ideal candidate will bring a strong track record in sales leadership, team development, and revenue generation across both traditional media and digital platforms. This role requires a bachelor's degree and 2 to 4 years related experience and/or training or equivalent combination. To view the full job listing and apply, go to urban1.com/careers. Applicants are subject to a background check. Radio 1 is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Kelsey Mitchell, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Beckers bouncing pick and roll with Carrington. Rejected by Tosh. Sophie has the loose ball in transition, left to right. Kelsey, left side three. Bottoms! There's our electric play of the game, powered by IBEW Local 481. IBEW Local 481, proudly powering your community. That sequence helping to power the Fever here to a 75-67 lead in Dallas with 5:54 to go. Before we left here, there was some chaos, kind of.
Yeah.
There was Maisha Hines-Allen down with an apparent rolled ankle. The Fever challenged the foul call. Unsuccessful challenge, so Dallas has it. Hines-Allen is out of the game. Wings ball right to left. 5:40 to go. Paige Beckers, right sideline, guarded by Cunningham. Chabs drives towards the right elbow. Shot fake, leaner, good off glass. She's special. And it's 75-69 with 5:30 to go.
Man, just so poised, just never rush, just have a great knack for what the defense is going to do.
She leads all scorers with 22. Kelsey, oh my, what a pass, right post to AB, who puts it in off the window.
There we go.
It's the second dime of the night for Kels. 77-69, about midway through the fourth. Beckers near the left elbow again, guarded by Cunningham. Going left on the baseline. Good D. Pass up top. Geisel Suter misses a three to the right. Rebound number 15 tonight for Tosh. Pass to Airy, left wing. Drives in the paint, and she's out. We'll shoot two.
Yeah. Good transition on the way down, and my goodness. Rebound number 15 for Howard.
4:50 to play, 77-69 Fever. 2 free throws on the right side for the 5'6" Arie McDonald. Toes behind the bright blue line, and misses the free throw to the right.
And this is tough. This is one of those things where we really got to lock in last 4 minutes and 50 seconds. And Dallas has had really good fourth quarters in this season, so it's almost like they're waiting around for the fourth quarter to start coming alive.
Can they beat New York earlier this week? Second free throw is good at 78-69. Half court left end for the Wings. Jones driving on Howard. Misses near the rim. Rebound Boston. Fever left to right. And AB now just a board shy of her 5th straight double-double. Mitchell, left wing. Defender falls down. James, now Kelsey shoots over her. Back rim, no. Rebound, Beckers. 4:12 to go. Fever up by 9. Beckers behind the back, dribble at the right elbow. Whips it, right corner. 3 for James. No. Rebound, Boston. And it's another double-double for AB, her 5th in a row. McDonald to Cunningham, right baseline, and an offensive foul on Indiana. With 3:58 remaining, Fever in front 78-69. Foul called on McDonald to wound up out of control.
Yeah, that's those passings while you're in the air. Although they might look pretty, it leaves you exposed for that opportunity for someone to get an offensive foul.
Quinterly guarded by McDonald at the logo. Starts to go right. Dribbles behind the back. Pulls from the left elbow. Bricked it. Loose ball. Fever corral it. Mitchell shovel pass to McDonald's. Left to right. Using some clock. Nursing a 9-point lead. McDonald has a big on her. Snaps a pass to Mitchell, right wing. Feeds. Foul line. Tosh later. She's a double-double machine. 11 points and 15 boards and counting with 3:25 to play. Fever up 80-69. Timeout, Wings.
Man, that's how you get it done. And you know what? She was itching for that last bucket, as she's had 9 for a while, but she continued to stay poised. She continued to shoot the shots that she knows that she can make, never forcing, still getting boards, whether it's offense or defensively. So super happy that she was able to get that double-double, as it's just another one to put in the books.
So for Dallas fans here, not a lot to be excited about except for some celebrities who are in the crowd. The Olympic gymnast Jordan Childs is here. A former Rangers great Elvis Andrus is here as well. But Tosh Howard, she's a Fever great and showing out again here tonight. Most rebounds in a game for Tosh since the 2020 season, when she was playing for Seattle. Her career high for rebounds is 16. She did that back in 2019, again when she was with Seattle. So 3:25 left, Fever up 80-69. They're knocking on the door of a 4-game winning streak for the first time this year.
Yeah. And that's, just going back to Howard, it's much fresher, younger legs there. So to see her on the brink of at least tying, maybe even surpassing that, is a good sign for her.
33 years young.
Yeah.
After the Wings timeout, their ball, right to left. Beckers driving right at the elbow, passes left wing. Jones in rhythm, 3 short, offensive rebound and a putback, good for Gazelsuder, the rookie from Germany. 80-71 Fever, under 3 to play. Still some work to do. McDonald's handling, guarded by James. Contact away from the ball and a foul against Quinterly here in the fourth quarter. 3 fouls against the Wings, 4 fouls against the Fever, meaning the next one would put Dallas into the bonus. Each team with 2 timeouts left. McDonald's right sideline, out of bounds to Mitchell, back to McDonald at the logo. McDonald seeks help to Boston right wing, back to McDonald, right around an AB screen. Hezzy, McDonald, passes right elbow. Boston, backdoor cut. Sophie, shot off the backboard is good. With the shot clock winding down, AB is a hub. What a facilitator. Now contesting against a Gazelsuder 3. No good, and Tosh has the rebound. Her 16th of the night. She ties her career high for rebounds here at the young age of 33.
Yes, yes.
82-71 Fever. 2:10 to play. Boston, top of the key, handoff. Kelsey, downhill right with the left hand, doesn't go. AB offensive rebound, reload. Kelsey in front of the Dallas bench to AB, extra 3 ball. Bricked it, rebound Wings. Baldo knocked away by Tosh. Kelsey has it, driving left, lays it in. With 1:50 to play, 82-71 Fever, and the officials are going to the monitor. And if they count that bucket, it's 84-71 Fever. They're apparently checking to see whether or not the shot clock should have been reset.
Right. Which they had possession, and then Howard came back, tapped it, and it was to Leah Boston for a steal, no? I mean, how much longer did she need the ball before it got it?
A little bit curious, but honestly, it shouldn't wind up mattering either way for the Fever. Up double digits with under 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, still looking for that night-night shot, but we have a pretty comfortable lead here, but we got to continue to play throughout the duration of this 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, right now the lights are off, the pillow is cool, glass of water on the nightstand.
You're not,
just about over.
You're not a glass of milk guy? You're a glass of water guy?
I ain't no Santa. I'll take some cookies, though.
Okay.
1:50 on the clock here in the fourth quarter. 84-71 Fever. At this point, for the Wings fans in attendance, and of course, plenty of Fever fans here, too. They're just trying to salvage some free T-shirts being thrown out to the crowd.
Yeah. Earlier, they had a Carrington jersey just tossed out to the crowd, so definitely a lot of engagement from those on the floor to the crowd, which always makes it super fun for the people, the kids, to come and experience.
Speaking of getting a jersey, Stranger Things, of course, back this season for the Fever. And here's your chance to win an Aaliyah Boston jersey. Just visit feverbasketball.com/sweepstakes to enter and learn more. Officials.
By Civic Cunningham at 2:37 is ruled to have occurred after the expiration of the shot clock, therefore no basket. Your score has been adjusted. It is correct.
So they take away 2 points from the Fever. And I don't know, we'll have to try to break this one down more later. First glance, though, that appears to be ridiculous because Dallas had a player take a dribble with the ball. How is that not a change of possession?
She grabbed the ball, gathered, took a look to see if anybody was around, then put the ball on the floor a few times, and then got it back tapped. I don't know what else they want to do.
I'm not the sharpest crayon in the box, but I'll need help get an explanation on that. Again, in any case, still an 11-point lead for the Fever as Quinterly, nice handles, goes behind the back, driving right. Banks it in. 82-73. Fever up 9. 1:39 to go. It's McDonald, Mitchell, Howard, Boston, and Cunningham. The starting five. Boston, top of the arc, getting bumped, no call. Reach in, no call. Now gives it to Kelsey. 8 on the shot clock. Kelsey, top of the arc. Feeds, right elbow, Tosh. 3 on the shot clock. Skip pass to Airy, but an offensive foul called on Tosh, who threw an elbow as Quinterly was reaching in. Tosh grins. She's like, what do you want me to do? And she's right up in my space.
And it was literally just because of how tall Quinterly is. Like
not so tall.
Not so tall when guarding Howard, a much taller Howard. So that's just, I don't know.
Howard at 6'2" against the 5'8" Quinterly. It's Tosh here. Playing in Dallas where she spent recent seasons. Beckers from the left elbow. Jumper in and out. Rebound. Fever. Final minute. Indiana up 82-73. Loose ball as Beckers reaches in on McDonald. Timeout called by Steph White. Just trying to get the group reorganized here to seal the deal. Up 82-73.
Yeah, I think the main focus is you cannot, under any circumstances, let Dallas have any easy, quick offensive opportunities. That one a couple possessions ago with Quinterly going to the basket. Although it was a tough basket, I mean, she almost dribbled through 4 white jerseys there. But it was just no time was really left off the clock. You want to be able to come back and see if you can make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, one thing that's pretty amazing for a game in 2025 drives that the Wings have only made 1-3 in this ball game. They're 1 for 14 from behind the arc. So that would usually be a key ingredient in a team trying to mount a big comeback.
Yeah.
But that has just not been there for Dallas in this game. They entered making 6 threes per game on this season, ranking 11th out of 13 in the league.
Yeah, I mean, and even 14 shots. Again, in this day and age, it's rare. You just don't see that. You see a lot more threes going up. And honestly, it was 6 for the longest. Or excuse me, 5 for the longest before this quarter where they started jacking up a few more.
So with 57 seconds left, Fever 82, Wings 73. Indiana in the white uniforms with the ball, right side, Cunningham in midcourt, inbounds to Boston, handoff to Mitchell, starts to go downhill left, Kelsey driving shot, blocked out of bounds by the 5'8" Quinterly. Fever keeping it with 49 seconds to go, 9 on the shot clock. Baseline out of bounds, McDonald's inbounds, Mitchell open, look at a 3 left side, night, 85-73, Fever with 45 seconds to go.
There it go. Coming from Kelsey Mitchell, knew it was coming.
She is the closer. Now a foul on the Fever defensively with 38 seconds remaining. It goes against Howard. All of a sudden, she's up to 5 fouls. But the big numbers for Tosh tonight, 11 points and 16 rebounds. And tying her career high here in her 12th season in the W.
Wow.
First of 2 free throws good for the lefty Isaiah James. 85-74. One more free throw coming. She nails it. 85-75, 38 seconds to go. McDonald playing point. Wings not fouling, not really pressuring all that much either. 13-second difference shot to game clock. McDonald passes, right wing. Tosh drives to area up top. Oh, it's another dagger. 88-75 with 22 seconds to go.
Jesus, she's been just phenomenal. Every time she gets the ball now, good things are happening. Good job, McDonald.
Night, and then close the door.
Slammed the door.
Ball knocked out of bounds by the Fever 14 seconds ago. Baseline out of bounds for the Wings. They floated in to Yeru, right corner. Now Yeru. 3 from the wing, makes it. Of course, too little, too late. Ball inbounded to Howard. And fitting late tonight, Tosh will dribble it out. Final score, Fever 88, Wings 78. It's a big dub and a big D. And now you know the Fever have won 4 in a row for the first time this year.
Yeah, they should be extremely proud of how they came out today, where it wasn't a complete 40-minute battle for them, but playing through those highs and lows, there was a much higher highs than there were lows. So extremely proud of how the team's been playing these last 4 or 5 games and how they've been able to come out since All-Star break.
Absolutely. It'll be a happy flight to Seattle as the road trip will continue on Sunday afternoon in a national TV game. We're going to have, I believe, Tosh Howard joining us here momentarily after this 88-78 win against the Wings. So the Fever now 3-0 against Dallas on the season. One more matchup yet to come this year at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. So the 10-point win, Tosh Howard with her 7th double-double of the season. As Tosh is posing for a photo near the Indiana bench right now with a couple of fans. And Jackie Maynard from the media relations staff hands off the headset to Tosh. And hey, Tosh, it's John and Bria up across the way. Congratulations on yet another dub, and for you, yet another double-double. How'd you feel out there tonight?
I felt good. To be honest, I just felt good.
Great. So Okay, you have tied yet another one of your game highs with rebounding with 16 coming in. How many years you been in the league?
12 years.
A couple, 12 years, my bad. No, congratulations on what you're doing for this team, not only from a leadership standpoint, but clearly playing at such a high level. How are you able to get going day in and day out, especially with the schedule being as hectic as it is?
First thing first, just taking care of my body. Make sure I get the proper sleep, putting the right food in my body, and making sure I stay hydrated.
Love that.
Yeah, so essential. And so, Tasha, as we're talking about here, you've been so great for so long, so everyone's going to have a game where they maybe don't meet their regular number. So you experienced that recently, but I know this morning at shoot-around, I heard some of your teammates say, Tosh is back, and people were getting excited. Now you showed out here on the floor tonight. So what was the difference here for your quote-unquote little return?
Just reading the defense and just making the right plays on the offensive end. When I get things going on the defensive end, things happen from the offensive end. And also help with getting my teammates open as well. It just wasn't only me tonight, it was everybody collectively.
Fantastic. And finally, you've cooked a couple times now against one of your former teams here in Dallas. Another familiar stop for you coming up on Sunday afternoon in Seattle. What are you looking forward to with that game?
Just playing our game, playing basketball, but more than none, just playing defense. They're going to start on the defensive end because right now, like our offense is flowing. We just got to make sure we just do the little things on the defensive end.
Sounds like a plan, Tosh. Congrats again. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Tosh and the Fever with the 88-78 win against the Wings at American Airlines Center. She finishes with 11 points, 16 rebounds. Also had 5 assists, a couple of steals, a block shot. Pretty incredible.
Man, and again, 12 seasons in this league, that's no easy task by any means. And what she's been able to do, again, just from a leadership standpoint, showing up day in and day out, leading by example, being vocal, and showing these youngsters what it takes to come in and kill and dominate at this level, taking care of your body, having the right nutrition, like all these things matter, and she takes them all seriously. So kudos to her. I'm super excited, and honestly, maybe she can go for another 12 years or so.
And who knows these days? Modern medicine's miraculous at times. But for now, it's a 10-point win for Tosh and the Fever over the Wings. Still to come, we'll recap things here from downtown Dallas and look ahead as this season-long road trip continues, and the team now on a season-long winning streak as well. So Bree and I will be back with you to wrap it up here, and then still to come after that, we'll have the W's greatest postgame show with Eddie Garrison. It's all right here as you're listening to Indiana Fever basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Hey, I'm ordering dinner. I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through June 2nd, 2025.
What's the hottest ticket in town? The Indiana Fever. The best way to get there? Indigo. Catch the fever by catching the bus. Indigo's MyKey acts as your fast break pass to experience high-octane Fever basketball, all while avoiding parking fees and traffic jams. Plan your Fever game night with Indigo. Visit indigo.net/how-to-ride to plan your trip and get connected to MyKey. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the game. Indigo, the best way to catch the fever.
From buzzer beaters to buzzbait and cornhole to canoes, Academy Sports and Outdoors has all you need to find your fun. And when fun's the goal, anything is possible. We're here for pre-game gear-ups, camping trip do-withouts, and days when the best things in life happen right outside your back door. Swing by your local indie stores in Avon, Westfield, Greenwood, and Bloomington for the top brands in the game at undefeatable prices. There's no match for fun, and fun can't lose at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
The Indiana Fever trust Ortho Indy as their official orthopedic provider, and so can you. From game-time injuries to everyday mishaps, Ortho Indy Urgent Care is your fast, affordable alternative to the ER. Walk in, skip the wait, and see an orthopedic expert. No appointment needed. Injuries happen. Ortho Indy is ready. Find a location near you at orthoindy.com. Ortho Indy, trusted by the pros. Here for you.
This is Natasha Howard, and you're listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Tasha the Fever with an 88-78 win in Dallas at American Airlines Center, where the announced attendance was 17,857. Wow. So for this building that can seat more than 20,000, not a sellout. Nevertheless, second largest crowd in Wings franchise history, and the way the Gainbridge Fieldhouse is constructed these days, this is bigger than a typical Fever sellout crowd at home. We were talking about this earlier in the night. Gotten spoiled this year. We aren't used to seeing any available seats.
Yep.
But to some degree understandable with the fact that folks knew in advance this time that Caitlin wasn't going to play. And in defense of the ticket sales staff here for the Wings, this game was originally supposed to be played at a smaller venue in Arlington. They didn't have much lead time, only a couple weeks or so to try to pack it. And again, in any case, still a wonderful environment for the WNBA here tonight.
Absolutely. 17,000 plus is, more than what we could ask for. There was years where we couldn't go through that for a whole season. And so to see where women's basketball has just skyrocketed and taken off to, it's beautiful to see. Again, that key word is spoiled. And when we're so used and conditioned to seeing it one way, I almost forget, but it's such a humbling experience to see those empty seats and to come back. We just so much more basketball to come, so I'm excited to see where it leads.
Well, yeah, speaking of excitement now, to a season best 4-game winning streak for the Fever. Late last year, in late August, early September, the team rolled off 5 wins in a row when they were really, making that playoff push. So they'll have a chance now for a 5-game winning streak this season coming up Sunday. It'll be a 3 o'clock game, Indy time. In Seattle against the Storm. It'll be the second meeting of the season between the teams. The Fever won in Seattle back in late June. What do you think is the formula to do that again?
Yeah, so, one, especially losing on your home turf, you kind of take that to heart. So you know that Seattle's going to come out and be ready to go, kind of have a little bit more pep in their step, almost as if it's like a revenge game. They had Caitlin with that game. I think this is a different team since that time, so it's going to be just a completely different ball game from many different avenues, many different aspects. So 2 really, really good teams going back and forth, I think is what we should expect, and a lot of high emotion. As you know, there's a lot of competitors on that court, Skylar Diggins being one, and Erica Wheeler, who has had some experience with the Indiana Fever. There's just so many different things in there that can kind of, get you energized for just that game specifically.
Yep, so again, on Sunday, our coverage will start at 2:45 with the pregame and then tip at 3. Peeking further ahead, Tuesday, the Fever visit the Sparks in Los Angeles. Next Thursday, a rematch against the Phoenix Mercury in Arizona. Next home game for the Fever is a week from tomorrow. That's the 9th of August against the Chicago Sky. Limited tickets available at feverbasketball.com. Bria will break things down more in depth with Eddie Garrison coming up on the W's Greatest postgame show in a moment. But for us here right now, Bria, one last takeaway from this win over the Wings.
Well, again, there's just so many players on our roster who can pop off on any time. Today we had 4 players in double digits. We had a couple on the brink of that, and it's just when one player who might be off on any given night, there's 3 and 4 players who can step up and fill those shoes. So we're in such a special spot to be in, and we can really start relying on each other. Again, with the strength of schedule and the way that the schedule is, you can't expect a 20-point game from, our big 3. We have to be able to spread it out, and I think we have enough people to do so. That's going to be able to set us apart from a lot of other teams in the W.
Yeah, as you said, 4 in double figures. Howard the 11, Boston the 12. They both had double doubles. Mitchell a team best, 23 points, so really back to form for her. 15 for Ari McDonald. Sophie with 6 points. Off the bench, Lexi Hull 7, Sydney Colson 3, Damiris Dantas 5, Chloe Bibby 6 on a couple of threes. KK Timpson played but did not score. And again, Eddie will have more numbers for you as well. But that'll do it for us here right now. Is one last thing for you, Bria. We had hit on this post-game a couple nights ago, alluded to it before a tip here tonight. Congratulations to you defending your City League championship with the team sponsored by the Horizon League. So that was at the Bonner Center last night. So just give us a quick recap of your title in the Indy City League.
Listen, I've played many games and I've been a part of many championships, but I think that was the hardest I had to fight for a championship. And, you know, I'm no spring chicken, so I had to put forth a few extra effort. But being able to go out there, play with both of my sisters was so special. Being able to get this one over a much younger, much fresher team. There's a bunch of Ball State girls who have been playing phenomenally throughout the whole season. So being able to have that, and then on top of it, there was just so much attention between the Toledo versus Ball State MAC rematch in that. Even though only one person on our team went to Toledo, Toledo did lose to Ball State, and my younger sister who went to Toledo was the one who hit the game winner in the Elam ending to give us the championship. So it was kind of right back at you there, and we got to win a little cash. So love that.
Love it. Well, with that information, you're picking up the check here for the rest of this longest road trip of the season.
I got you.
As the Fever now 16-12 on the year. Hottest team in the WNBA on this 4-game winning streak. Elsewhere around the W tonight, by the way, Atlanta won, so the Fever are still a game behind them for 5th place in the standings as they beat the Mercury by 24. And that Phoenix team, which was doing so well for so long, they're sputtering a bit here in the second half of the season. And the Fever also trying to catch the Seattle Storm in the standings, making Sunday's game really all the more impactful. Storm about to start against the Sparks here shortly. There was one very surprising score around the league tonight as the Connecticut Sun beat the second-place New York Liberty.
Wow.
So Minnesota really all by itself at this point, and first in the standings at 23-5, and yet it was the Fever who beat them for the Commissioner's Cup championship. Now Breeze got a championship. We'll see if ultimately the Fever can cut down some nets here.
It's going to trickle down.
Later this season when it comes time for the postseason in the fall. So with that, we'll say so long from American Airlines Center in downtown Dallas. Eddie Garrison's got the W's Greatest Post-Game Show coming up in a bit. For right now, we thank him for his work as our producer. Big thanks to Ken Mendez, an outstanding job as our engineer here on site. And for Bria Goss, this is John Nolan, most of all, saying thanks to you for listening and goodbye from American Airlines Center in Dallas.
You've been listening to Indiana Fever Basketball on the Old National Bank Radio Network.
Step back, fire, good! Palin for 3!
What a win for the Indiana Fever. They start that road trip. I mentioned it as one of the keys. Start on the right foot tonight. They do 88-78 over the Dallas Wings. Indiana, a season best, 4 games over 500. And are on a season best 4-game winning streak. This is the Fans post-game coverage. Hello, I am Eddie Garrison. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll get to Indiana Sports Talk after this with Mark Dykton after we wrap up the post-game coverage of this one. Indiana 16-12. They're 7-6 now on the road. Dallas drops to 8-21. The season series is officially in favor of the Indiana Fever. They have won all 3 meetings thus far. The final contest will come in 11 days at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Once again, it was Kelsey Mitchell. She's been the story of this series so far for the Indiana Fever tonight. 23 points, 9 of 19, but she was not the story of the game itself. It was Natasha Howard and her aggressiveness on the glass. 16 boards, tying a career high for Tosh. It is the 3rd game in her 12-year career in the WNBA with at least 15 rebounds. Arian McDonald has now scored double figures in 3 consecutive games and has provided some stability at that point guard position while the Fever are without Caitlin Clark, and they now have a winning record on the season without Caitlin Clark. Tonight was their 15th game without her. They're now 8-7. They'll continue the road trip on Sunday in Seattle. That game will be at 3 o'clock, and John Nolan and Bria Goss will have the call right here on The Fan. We go back out to Dallas. That is where Bria Goss joins us. Bria, 88-78 win tonight for the Indiana Fever over the Dallas Wings. What was the most memorable part of this game in your mindset?
Oh, yeah, well, I think you hit it the best is Tosh Howard and how she just came out and getting 7 boards in the first 10 minutes of the game definitely helps, but ending up with 16 rebounds. She was relentless on the boards, capped it off with 11 points and added in 5 assists. I mean, she just had a complete game, and when she's playing like that, we're really hard to beat.
When you look at things from the Dallas side, this is the 3rd game of the series, and Arike Ogunbowale has really not been a factor at all. What has the defense for the Fever done to really stymie her on the offensive side of the floor?
Yeah, man, it's not a one-person job. She was 0 for 10 the last time when she was in Gamesbridge. So now today she was 1 for 6, 0 for 1 from 3. So really it's just a team effort, knowing where she's at, making it difficult for her to even get the ball, making it difficult for her to get to her sweet spots, and just kind of frustrating her in a way of, not getting her or getting her outside of her playing comfort zone. So again, not a one-person job, but collectively as a team, they are so good just zoning in on where she's at and playing her early.
I know the answer to this is duh, Eddie, but how important is it that the Fever are winning these types of games because they don't have Caitlin Clark, and when you're without the person who pretty much runs your entire offense, Dallas has a bit of a run to start the 4th quarter, and they're able to rebound, kind of take a step back, take a deep breath, recollect themselves. How important is it for them to get these types of wins without her?
Well, duh, Eddie. No, it's super important. It's so important because, again, we're doing this without her right now. So when we add her back in, just how good. I mean, we won by 10 today with her. That might have been a 20-point game. You know what I mean? So just there's so many things that she brings to the table, not just her 3-point shooting. Her ability to get to the basket, her ability to pass. We miss those home run touchdown passes, her ability to steal. So just being able to be everywhere and be a floor general. And there's so many eyes on her when she is in the game that leads great people on her roster to just pass it to. So, and from a confidence piece, right? I mean, we have been without her for a while now, and we had to figure out how we can keep on playing and keep playing at a high level without her 3-point ability and her passing. So they have figured it out, and so they're doing great things without her, and they're going to continue to do great things. But I know that they wish her well and wish her to come back soon. But for right now, it's all about what's ahead of us, and just going to, game by game.
Way to use my words against me there. Final thought here. Off the bench, Chloe Baby. She gets the contract for the rest of the season earlier today. She plays 6 minutes, makes 2 threes. She's really made an impactful number of minutes just in 3 games so far.
Absolutely. I mean, she comes in firing. She is locked in, and she knows what she can do and what she can bring to this team. And, I mean, she's tall. That pick and pop is hard to guard, especially if she sets a screen on somebody like a McDonald or somebody like Kelsey Mitchell, who has this lightning quickness to go downhill. If she pops, you can't guard both of those. So that's just a quick hitter-quitter for the team, and she's going to continue to come in and figure out where her spots are, as we're going to probably start to see her minutes increase as time goes by. But 6 points in 6 minutes that's a good game for me.
Yeah, and it's only going to be more challenging for defenses if Caitlin Clark's on the floor and you're running that pick and pop too, because it's going to open up shots for other people on the floor.
Can you imagine?
Oh, I cannot. That's Bria Goss. She'll be on the call Sunday, 3 o'clock. Bria, safe travels, and we'll talk after another Fever win, hopefully.
Thanks so much.
Still to come on the post-game show right here on The Fan, we will identify the Payless Liquors player of the game, and we'll take a look around the WNBA. It was a very active slate of games at 4:30. 3 other games are going up against the Indiana Fever, and one about to tip. I'll touch all of it next right here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Colts camp is heating up, and The Fan has your all-access pass all week long. Catch exclusive interviews, behind-the-scenes scoops, and everything you need to get hyped for the season. Don't just hear about it, be a part of it.
Hey everyone, it's Jake from Payless Liquors. Charlie said sell it, so stop by one of our 26 family-owned locations and stock up with these great deals. Captain Morgan half gallons for $24.99, Evan Williams Black half gallons for $22.99, and Seagram 7 half gallons or Hennessy pints for $19.99. Get Mick Ultra 16-ounce 12-packs for $17.99, Budweiser and Bud Light 16-ounce 12-packs for $13.99, XXL flavored wines for $9.99, and Svedka and Benjamin 50 mils for just 69 cents. Why pay more when you can pay less here at Payless Liquors?
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. Choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more at the grand opening of the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com.
Cover me!
Indiana Tech gave these grads more than just a degree. It gave them a future.
I earned a master's degree in organizational leadership and the opportunity to serve others.
I earned a degree that helped me get promoted at a great company and become the first college graduate in my family.
I earned an engineering degree that taught me to succeed in technical roles and in life.
I got the chance to work for a professional sports team with a winning experience thanks to flexible online classes.
With personalized support to help you succeed. Over 100 high-quality career-focused certificates and degrees in in-demand fields like business, healthcare, criminal justice, information technology, cybersecurity, and more. Indiana Tech doesn't just give you a degree. It gives you the opportunity of a lifetime. Learn more about what Indiana Tech can do for your future at online.indianatech.edu.
Registration for the next class session ends August 15th.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
This is 93.5 and 107.5, the Fans post-game coverage tonight of Indiana 88. Dallas 78 Fever over the Wings on the Fan. I'm Eddie Garrison. Thank you for joining us. We'll get to you, Mark Dykton, on 107.5 The Fan with Indiana Sports Talk here in a matter of moments. Got to recap tonight's win. Let's take a look back on the game. In the first quarter, it was a slow start for both teams, really. It's a very similar start for Indiana from their game Wednesday night. They struggled with taking care of the basketball, turned the ball over 6 times, and Dallas turned those 6 turnovers into 6 points, but they managed to only score 20 points, and they find a way to go into the second quarter tied at 22 each. Kelsey Mitchell led the Fever in scoring in the first quarter with 7 points. Paige Beckers had 5, and so did Isaiah James off the bench Maisha Hines-Allen had 5 points off the bench for Dallas in the first quarter. In the second quarter, it was Aari McDonald on Wednesday night. Tonight, a much more balanced approach for Indiana. They outscored Dallas 26-20. Half those points for the Wings coming from Paige Beckers. She had 10 points. As for the Fever, Aari McDonald had 5. That was the most out of the starters in the second period. Off the bench was Chloe Bibby hitting a pair of threes in just over 2 minutes to lead the team in scoring in the third quarter. And at halftime, Indiana was on top 48-42. The leading scorer for the Fever with just 9 points was Natasha Howard, and Kelsey Mitchell, leading all players with 15 points at intermission, was Paige Beckers. The difference at halftime essentially was the fact that Indiana had hit some threes and Dallas literally hit nothing. Indiana was 5 of 15 from downtown. Dallas did not convert any of their 5 3-point shot attempts, and they got to the line 5 more times than Indiana. They were +5 at the line, was Dallas 12-7. So quite literally the difference was the 3-point line in the first half. In the second half, it was pretty much a carbon copy of that first quarter, except less turnovers. Indiana turned it over 4 times compared to 6. They just struggled making some shots. And I think Bria Goss touched on it at some point in the third quarter that the Fever were getting good looks. They just weren't going in, and she felt confident going into the fourth quarter that they were going to be able to maintain a double-figure lead. But their defense was also big in the third quarter. They held Dallas to 29% from the field and just 4 field goals. They outscored Dallas 22-15 in the third quarter. Kelsey Mitchell got it going in that third quarter for Indiana. She scored 9 points. And so after 3 periods, it was 70-57 in favor of the Fever, and Kelsey Mitchell was tied for the scoring lead with Paige Beckers with 18. Aaliyah Boston had 10 points, and she was 2 boards away from a double-double entering that final quarter of play, and Natasha Howard was just 1 point from a double-double going into the final 10 minutes. Things took a turn at the start of the quarter for the Indiana Fever. They were forced to call a timeout early. Sophie Cunningham got the Fever on the board with a layup. That was after a 3 from Isaiah James, and then Dallas scored 4 points. Could kind of feel the momentum starting to shift a little bit as Paige Beckers scored on a pull-up jumper. It was an 8-point game with 8 minutes to go, and then Indiana calls a timeout, and Stephanie White makes a substitution. She puts Aaliyah Boston in for Damaris Dantas, Natasha Howard in for Sydney Colson, and Ari McDonald ended the ball game for Chloe Bibby. And right out of the break, they hit a 3-pointer from Ari McDonald to kind of stymie and put away the Dallas Wings. They fend off that momentum, kind of dampened the mood in American Airlines Arena, and Indiana did a solid job at preventing the Wings from making a major run. Paige Beckers did cut it to 6 with a field goal, but Indiana would have an answer right after that with Aaliyah Boston scoring on a basket, and they were able to kind of close out to end the game and hold off Dallas. That's how they won it, 88-78. Now let's take a listen back to the highlights with John Nolan and Bria Goss.
Kelsey Mitchell, pretty pass to Howard, who scores rim right. Kelsey right there, crafty, no look.
Highlight reel, Kelsey Mitchell behind the back. Ooh, that was nasty.
Carrington feeds in the paint. Hines Allen, baby hook, good. And that locks up the score at 20 with a minute to go in the opening quarter. Mitchell with a burst to the left wing. Blow by against Carrington and lays it in. 22-20 Fever. Kelsey Mitchell just too quick.
Man, I can't even break it down on her so quick. Blink of an eye, she's at the rim.
1 point lead for the Fever. Boston left baseline, backing down Geiselshooter. Bibby gets loose left corner. Fires. She can't miss. Chloe Bibby heating up. It's 36-32 Fever with 4:33 to go in the half. 41-36, 2:40 to go second quarter. Cunningham near the foul line, backpedaling. Lobs a pass, right wing. Howard looking for spacing. Still dribbling towards the right elbow. Shovel pass, AB. 5 on the shot clock. McDonald wants 3. Give her 3. Drains it from up top. 44-36 Fever. Biggest lead so far. That does it for the first 20 minutes. It's the Fever 48, the Wings 42 in Dallas. Beckers bouncing pick and roll with Carrington. Rejected by Tosh. Sophie has the loose ball in transition. Left to right. Kelsey, left side 3. Bottoms. 56-47. 5:07 to go. Third quarter. Defense to offense. 58-49. Colson quickly left to right in the white uniform. Pick and roll with Boston and now pulls. Mid-post misses. Offensive rebound. Tosh. Reset. Sid guarded by Beckers. Thought about a 3 up top instead. Give and go with AB. Skip pass. Alexia right corner 3. Yes! 61-49 Fever. Indiana up a dozen in Dallas. Fever ball, full court pressure from the Wings. Indiana with the starting 5 on the floor with the exception of Lexi Hull being in there right now instead of Kelsey Mitchell. Boston, top of the arc. Pressured, 8 on the shot clock. Pass right wing Lexi. Gets a screen from AB, goes left around it. 3 on the shot clock. Pass to Aerie. She heaves. And heads over Beckers. Big bucket. 75-64. Fever with 7:35 left. Baseline out of bounds. McDonald's inbounds. Mitchell open look at a 3 left side. Night. 85-76. 73. Fever with 45 seconds to go. Final score, Fever 88, Wings 78. It's a big dub and a big T. And now you know the Fever have won 4 in a row for the first time this year.
Now let's take a look inside the box score. John Nolan, Briagos on the call right here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Kelsey Mitchell led the team in scoring with 23 points. It is the 14th time this year she has led the Fever in scoring and the 15th time that she has poured in at least 20 points. And in this series so far, she has scored 75 points in 3 games, 32 points back in the first meeting that was in Dallas. So she has scored 54 points here in this series in Dallas, 21 points at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. The player of the game tonight is Natasha Howard, brought to you after every game by Payless Liquors. Get more in Payless at Payless Liquors. It wasn't her scoring that was the reason why she was the player of the game. It was everything else that she did outside of that particular part of the box score. 11 points tonight for Natasha Howard, 16 rebounds. That ties a career high. 6 offensive rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block shot. Natasha Howard quite literally did it all tonight for the Indiana Fever, and she had one of the more important sequences for Indiana in the game. She had a block shot, and then it set up Kelsey Mitchell in the third quarter for a 3-ball, and it really got things going for the Fever in that third quarter. It's her third time in her WNBA career with at least 15 boards and her 7th double-double on the season. That's why she's tonight's Payless Liquors Player of the Game, brought to you after every game by Payless Liquors. Get more in Payless at Payless Liquors. Erin McDonald was second on the team in scoring with 15 points. She had 6 assists and 4 rebounds in the game today. Aaliyah Boston also had a double-double. McDonald has scored double figures in 3 consecutive games. Boston tonight, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block shot. Aaliyah has recorded 13 double-doubles on the season, and it is her 5th consecutive game with the double-double. That extends her career high. The other player in double figures tonight for Indiana was Natasha Howard. Nobody else outside of that. The 5th and final starter was Sophie Cunningham, and she was pretty quiet offensively. Only 3 of 5 tonight. That's just because the attention she was drawing, and she did a really good job of just moving around and spacing the floor tonight for the Fever. 6 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block shot. So you can kind of get the trend here that Indiana was very active defensively tonight against the Atlanta Dream. Off the bench, leading the team in scoring with 7 points was Lexi Hull. Sydney Colson had 3 points. Damaris Dantas chipped in with 5, and Chloe Bibby in her first game as a full-time member of the Indiana Fever. She signed that 7-day contract late last week, early this week, and then today she was signed to a contract for the rest of the season. She buried 2 of her 3-pointers, totaling up to 6 points. Indiana shot 45% tonight, 43% beyond the 3-point line. They made a dozen triples, got to the line 13 times, missing 3, and they were plus 14 on the glass tonight. 44-30 on the rebounding side of things over Dallas, 14 offensive rebounds for the Indiana Fever, and they scored 14 points on those opportunities. In terms of assists, 25 on 33 made baskets for the Fever. They turned the ball over 20 times tonight, so that is one area of concern that Stephanie White will probably want to shore up before Sunday's game at 3 o'clock against the Seattle Storm. On the Dallas side of things, the only player in double figures was their leading scorer tonight, Paige Beckers, 22 points, and she also had 4 assists and 4 rebounds in the loss for Dallas. Arike Ogunbowale has struggled in this series. In the last game, she was 0 of 10. Today, 1 of 6 for 8 points. She has scored 10 points in the last 2 meetings, 8 of them coming from the foul line. So she is 1 of 16 against the Indiana Fever in the last 2 meetings. Off the bench, 9 points each for Isaiah James and Maisha Hines Allen. Those were the leading scorers off the bench for Dallas. They're 8-21. They shot 41% from the field, 2 of 15 behind the arc tonight for 13%. They got to the line 25 times, just missing 1 shot. Let's take a look now around the WNBA. 4 total games outside of this one tonight. 3 of them are going up against the Indiana Fever. And the Phoenix Mercury were in Atlanta taking on the Dream. 95-72, the final score there. This one's an important one to watch just because of where things are at right now in the standings. Indiana is chasing both of these teams. They split the season series with the Dream, 2 games apiece, so neither team with the head-to-head. They'll have to look at a whole bunch of different tiebreakers, but nonetheless, Atlanta is now 17-11 after the 23-point win tonight over Phoenix because they outscored Phoenix 26-8 in the third quarter. Kalia Copper led Phoenix on the losing side of things with 19 points. On the winning side of things for Atlanta, it was Alicia Gray with 26 points. The Connecticut Sun stunned the New York Liberty, who are now 17-11 or 17-10. The Connecticut Sun, on the other hand, they are 5-21. They have wins this year over the Indiana Fever, the New York Liberty, the Atlanta Dream, and the Seattle Storm and the Golden State Valkyries. Their 5 wins are against teams that are all jumbled up in the playoff position. Kind of remarkable when you think about it, for the Connecticut Sun. Sabrina Ionescu, 23 points. Jonquilla Jones, 14 for the Liberty. They did not play with Brianna Stewart. She's going to miss some time. Not really sure how long. She's dealing with a lower leg injury. Kennedy Burke is out for a couple of weeks as well, so they're a little bit hobbled right now on the New York Liberty. As for the Connecticut Sun, they were led in scoring 18 points tonight. Marina Mabry, 16 points off the bench from Aliva Nelson Ododo and Leela Lacan for Connecticut. The other game that was going on, that is now final, 73-66 was the final score. It was not too far away from here. It was in Chicago. The Sky now 7-20. Golden State 14-13 because they win 73-68. Veronica Burton leads Golden State in scoring with 18 points. Chicago was led by Elizabeth Williams. She had 15 points. Camila Cardozo, 14 points, 11 rebounds. No Angel Reese once again for the Chicago Sky. Let's take a look now at the WNBA standings because things are getting very interesting. The Minnesota Lynx right now, they are running away with that number 1 seed in the WNBA for the best record. They're 23-5. Indiana has yet to play them this year. The only team they've yet to play are the Minnesota Lynx because that WNBA Commissioner's Cup championship game doesn't count. These two teams will meet very, very soon, and that will be on August the 22nd for the first of 3 meetings in a matter of a week and a half. They'll play back-to-back games. They'll be in Indianapolis on Friday, August 22nd, and they will go to Minnesota and play each other on August the 24th, and the second to final game of the year for Minnesota comes against the Fever on September the 9th. New York Liberty, they are second in the WNBA standings. They're 17-10 right now, 5.5 out of first. On their tails is the Atlanta Dream, half a game behind New York. They're 17-11. Seattle is a half a game behind Atlanta, meaning Seattle is a game behind New York. They're 16-11, as are the Phoenix Mercury. Then you've got the Indiana Fever, who are surging up the standings because they are 7-2 in their last 9 games and are on a 4-game winning streak, the longest winning streak right now in the W. They are 16-12. So let's get it straight. Indiana right now, they are 6th. They are alone. They have a 1.5 lead over the Golden State Valkyries. They trail Phoenix for 5th, and Phoenix and Seattle for 4th, I guess, technically, by half a game. They trail the Atlanta Dream for 3rd by half a game, and they trail the New York Liberty by 1.5 games for 2nd. Now, the only game of series that we know in terms of tiebreakers that are not in favor of the Fever, that is the New York Liberty, because they won 3 of the 4 meetings this year. Atlanta and Indiana split that 4-game season series, 2 games apiece. The Seattle Storm and the Fever, they meet on Sunday. Now, that's a big, big game because of how things are shaping up right now in the W from the standings perspective. Indiana has already won in Seattle earlier this year. That was a 94-86 win, and it wasn't as close as the final score indicated. Indiana was going into that final quarter leading by 17 points, and they get outscored in the fourth quarter by 9. It was a big Aaliyah Boston game, if you remember. 31 points, 8 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell also fantastic that night. 26 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists on the Seattle side of things. 2 20-point scores. Both, ironically or coincidentally, with ties to the state of Indiana. Skylar Diggins, of course, 22 points. Erica Wheeler had 20 in that loss. And with a win, Indiana will clinch the head-to-head series over Seattle. That's an important one. The next time they'll meet is on August the 26th. That will be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And right now, Seattle is in action. They are just getting underway against the Los Angeles Sparks. Early returns 9-8 in favor of the Storm with 4.5 to go in the opening quarter. So that's how things look right now in the WNBA standings. Still a ton of basketball kinda to be played. We're through 28 games, 16 left on the calendar. It goes by that quickly, people. It really does. I'm Eddie Garrison. Once again, final score tonight, 88-78, the Indiana Fever over the Dallas Wings. Your Payless Liquors player of the game was Natasha Howard. Get more and pay less at Payless Liquors. Next up for the Fever, the Seattle Storm Sunday of the pregame coverage at 2:45, and of course the postgame coverage following hopefully another Indiana Fever win. Thank you for listening to the Fans postgame coverage. Next up, Mark Dykton right here on the Fan with Indiana Sports Talk. A final weekend without Coach Bob Lovell.
Did you know up to 50% of outdoor water use is wasted? And did you know that there are things you can do to help change that? Indiana American Water suggests that you water early or late in the day to reduce evaporation. Also, be sure to fix any leaks and skip watering when rain is in the forecast. Consider rain barrels, mulch your garden, and use drip irrigation for your plants. Be water wise. Conserve today, sustain tomorrow. Find more conservation tips at Indiana American Water's Wise Water Use Resources at indianaamwater.com.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. Choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more at the grand opening of the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com.
Cover me! Radio 1 is seeking a general sales manager to lead our sales operations in Indianapolis. The ideal candidate will bring a strong track record in sales leadership, team development, and revenue generation across both traditional media and digital platforms. This role requires a bachelor's degree and 2 to 4 years related experience and/or training or equivalent combination. To view the full job listing and apply, go to urban1.com/careers. Applicants are subject to a background check. Radio 1 is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everyone, it's Jake from Payless Liquors. Charlie said sell it, so stop by one of our 26 family-owned locations and stock up with these great deals. Captain Morgan half gallons for $24.99, Evan Williams black half gallons for $22.99, and Seagram 7 half gallons or Hennessy pints for $19.99. Gimmick Ultra 16-ounce 12-packs for $17.99, Budweiser and Bud Light 16-ounce 12-packs for $13.99, XXL flavored wines for $9.99, and Svedka and Benjamin 50 mils for just 69 cents. Why pay more when you can pay less here at Payless Liquors?
This is the soundtrack of summer.
And new memories are waiting at your Indiana State Fair.
Today is opening day of your Indiana State Fair. Join us for the greatest 15 days of summer as we welcome back all the rides, animals, free entertainment, and more. There's something for everyone, so bring the whole family. Plan your trip at IndianaStateFair.com.
Sounds like fun. Your Indiana State Fair, presented by Get Prepared Indiana.
At some scores in Major League Baseball, the 2 Midwest games that are going on right now. How about the White Sox? Ethan Patterson, you'll be happy to see your team ahead 2-0. Chicago defeating the Angels right now, just through a couple of innings, that in Anaheim. And then the Cardinals also out west, scoreless through 2.5 innings. We'll keep you updated on both of those as we go. As far as the games that have already gone final, the Reds get the best of the Braves. That series even as both teams head to now Tennessee tomorrow. The Bristol Motor Speedway hosting a baseball game. That's going to be epic. The Reds defeating the Braves 3-2 is that final score. Mark Dykton, you're happy. Your Cubs win 1-0 today at home against the Orioles. A nice little shutout. Cade Horton pitching 5 good innings for the Cubs. The Tigers, the lone team so far to fall in the Midwest. 5-4, the Phillies get the best of them. The Guardians win 3-2 against the Twins.
It's Indiana Sports Talk. Is none other than Joel Erickson of the Indianapolis Star. He covers the Colts. And Joel, thank you for joining me this evening. First question, though, nothing to do with football. We will get into the football discussion first. But you are a diehard Milwaukee Brewers fan. I'm a diehard Cubs fan. We are at odds when it comes to our rooting interest in baseball teams. Your thoughts on what your Brewers did at the trade deadline?
I needed more just from a depth position, standpoint. The Willie Castro pickup for you guys was one that would have helped us, because I feel like mostly because the Brewers are like one injury on the left side of the infield away from guys most people have never heard of other than me playing. So I wanted a little bit more from that. I gotta be honest, I didn't really ever think that Suarez was coming, given the Mariners' pursuit, and then there just wasn't a lot of bats, which is what the Brewers needed. You guys kind of fell in the same boat. Like, you guys needed a big time arm. I don't know that a big time arm even went anywhere.
No, I mean, all the arms. I mean, Jed Hoyer, the GM of the Cubs, said the asking price for starting pitching at the deadline was just astronomical and just something they weren't willing to get to. And yeah, I mean, you guys got Jordan Montgomery and his albatross of a contract and everything. So that's an interesting.
Yeah, they bought a reliever.
But, yeah,
I did like that one. They just purchased a reliever because he's got Tommy John. So they said, we'll pay a certain amount of this deal, but we're not going to give a prospect for your reliever. And I was like, I don't mind that. I don't mind the idea of just, hey, we're just going to send you money for a player.
Yeah. I mean, I like that the Cubs added some relief pitching, and they got Sirocco from the Nationals for maybe a starting pitching spot, but I would have liked more, but apparently the asking price was insane, and if you're going to ask for a lot, you would like to get a lot in return, and there just didn't seem to be that demand out there. So curious to see what the Brewers and Cubs do, because I think it's going to come down to them as far as the NL Central is concerned. So I was glad we didn't get the brooms from you guys out in Milwaukee, but I still like your team a lot, as much as it pains me to say that.
It does seem like a two-horse race for us. And then, I'm sure you've noticed this as well, but if they don't fall off or the Dodgers don't get super hot or something like that, right now it's shaping up that whoever wins it is the 1 and whoever loses is the 4, which sets up a potential second, divisional playoff matchup. And I don't know if either of us are ready for that.
I know. My heart can't take it right now. So we'll hold off the baseball talk for now, but we'll move to the football field. You might be a little bleary-eyed after last night's practice under the lights for the Colts. What were your big takeaways from what you saw out at Westfield last night under the lights?
Well, I think the biggest one really was that, I think when the schedule comes out and you see an 8 o'clock practice as a writer, you're like, I don't want to be there that late. But this is also probably something the Colts should have been doing for a while. I know there's other teams that have, family night, fan night, something like that during the training camp. A lot of times it's a practice inside their stadium. Grand Park kind of gives the Colts a little bit of a unique setting because it feels very high school footballish when the sun goes down out there. They probably should have been doing something like this all along. Shane Steichen apparently deserves credit for the idea, but just something that's a little bit different than just the practice, the normal practice in the morning in the heat. They got lucky with the weather. The weather was incredible, but then it gives a little bit of something to the fans. It's something for the fan base, And then from a competitive standpoint, I think the other thing is that was a real scrimmage. We don't see real scrimmages in the NFL anymore. They'll say scrimmage and you're like, I don't know what I saw that was different than yesterday. Last night was a legitimate scrimmage. All they did was play 11 on 11, offense versus defense, basically the entire practice outside of a couple of special teams where they kicked field goals for their kicking competition. It was just 11 on 11. Like it was like a game without the tackling part because they don't do that anymore. But I think that's probably something they need too, to just, kind of get out of the rut of positional drills and stuff like that and just play the way they're going to have to play next week.
Joel A. Erickson of the Indy Star joining me to talk some Colts. Obviously, the big thing going on at Colts camp, the Colts quarterback competition between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. How did both those guys do last night?
This was probably the best both of them have looked. You know, I will say it does come with some context. The caveat is Jalen Jones, Juju Brents both have hamstring injuries. Charvarius Ward was out as a rest day. So the corners, which have been generally very, deep and giving guys tests with both the first and second team, were pretty thin. Your corners with the second team were Alex Johnson and Jonathan Edwards. And I think the quarterbacks probably took a little bit of advantage of that. But, you know, it still was a really good session for both of them. They pushed the ball down the field. Richardson more so than Jones. They both had high completion percentages. The numbers are getting fuzzy on me now because it was late last night, but I think Jones was 21 of 27. I think I had Richardson 14 of 19. They boosted their completion percentages quite a bit. They just looked a lot more in rhythm. It looked a lot more like what we're going to see in terms of quarterbacks moving and kind of flicking the ball out to receivers and stuff like that. This was probably their best day.
The eye test of Joel Erickson tells you which of the two has the edge in this competition.
I think it's Richardson. I thought that Daniel Jones needed to be just far and away so more efficient than Richardson from an accuracy standpoint in this camp, to the point where it was like, you know, maybe a 15% difference in completion percentage. And right now, like my unofficial numbers, he does have, 7-8% difference, but he's just not, he doesn't have the explosive play profile that Richardson does, and really doesn't have a history of pushing the ball down the field. Outside of a free play last night where there was a flag and he took a shot, he really hasn't done it at camp either. So I think when it comes down to it, he needed to be way far ahead of him in terms of an efficiency standpoint. We haven't really seen that. So for me, a week through camp, I think Richardson is probably on track to retain his starting job.
So next Thursday is the preseason opener against the Ravens. How do you think Shane Steichen's going to go when it comes to naming a starting quarterback for that game?
I'm interested to see, because they've tried so hard to make things as even as possible from terms of a starting standpoint. I wonder if they rotate it. I wonder if they don't do like first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. I wonder if it's every other drive. Because that's been the goal the whole time, has been to try to make it as even as possible. I think that, to me, the most even thing, because you don't know when the Ravens are going to pull players, it would be to kind of alternate them throughout the game. Like it's, I think like one of those college 2 quarterback systems.
So how much do you think they'll actually play in the preseason? Because obviously they have the joint practices coming up, but as far as the quarterback competition, I think they kind of should go against the grain, and they should play Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones deeper in these preseason games, because if it's a true quarterback competition, you need to start playing these real game, real life scenarios. How do you see them divvying that up?
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think that you should probably have these guys go into the third quarter, maybe deep into the third quarter. Now, if you get to the point when you're looking across the field and, you're saying to yourself, none of these guys are going to play for the Ravens at all this year, that's maybe when you take them out. Because I don't know, I think you get diminishing returns in terms of what you're learning at that point. But yeah, I think you leave these guys in as long as you possibly can, because you need the evaluation.
All right, more with Joel A. Erickson as we're up against the break right now, but we'll get more conversation with him. Got to get into some more position battles as far as, who's looking good, who's struggled, and then what are some tough positions when it comes to cut downs as far as who might be, on the edge of making the roster or not. I've got some more questions for him. So Joel A. Erickson's going to hang in there through the break, so we'll get to him just in a little bit. But yeah, I wanted to make sure we had enough time with Joel to get into some more questions I had about the Colts. So this is Indiana Sports Talk. I'm Mark Dykton. With today, we're also going to talk to Eddie Garrison, colleague of mine at The Fan. He's on the Fever pregame and postgame shows. They got the win over the Dallas Wings, so we will talk to him in a little while as well. Plus, Kevin Bowen going to join us to talk more Colts, give his thoughts as well. So this is Indiana Sports Talk. I'm Mark Dykton. Nathaniel Finch is going to have a scoreboard update shortly, and Ethan Patterson on the 1s and 2s. So we'll see you shortly. We have a second part of the conversation with Joel A. Erickson on the other side of this break. We'll see you shortly.
thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I missed having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
911, what's your emergency?
In an emergency, voice is best. But what if you can't call?
Escalated domestic disturbance reported east of downtown. Be advised, alert was received by a 911 emergency text. Caller is hiding in a closet and can't use her voice.
When the situation is too dangerous to make a call, text to 911. Capability Now helps Hoosiers. But in most emergencies, voice is still best.
My sister's not breathing. Please hurry.
In the last 5 years, Hoosiers have used text capability in over 1 million 911 sessions. It's of great help to the deaf and speech impaired and to those in select dangerous situations. Thanks to the statewide 911 board, Indiana leads the nation with all 92 counties having in- and outbound text capability. For more, visit in911.net.
It's good to hear your voice. Help is on the way.
911. Before you text, voice is best.
It's JMV for Indiana's Best. My friend Eric Wilson and Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37. It's in Fishers. Check it out right now. The GMC Acadia, good for you, the family, and the friends of the family. Inventory, car buying experience, service after the sale, the absolute best. It's one-stop shopping. Ask for Eric Wilson and head to Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
Here's what's going on with the Fan.
Hope Plumbing and HVAC is proud to sponsor our Colts player interviews all training camp long on the Fan. Catch daily video clips of the Fan social channels. And if you're hot, call Hope. Plumbing you trust, comfort you feel.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This Indiana Sports Talk scoreboard update is brought to you by Quality Supply and Tool in Indianapolis, Bloomington, Jeffersonville, and Lafayette. Think outside the box. Store. QualitySupplyandTool.com.
Hey, I'm Nathaniel Finch. You hear from me every 15 minutes. Scoreboard update. Let's start with the big one from tonight. The Fever in Dallas to play the Wings. Paige Becker's the top pick from this year. And it's advantage Indiana. 88-78 the final. The Fever have won 4 straight. The Fever now 4 games above 500. And when you look at the standings, I know it's still early in the season, but things are really jumbled up for the top of the WNBA. Could be interesting if the Fever can continue to win. They do so tonight thanks to 23 points from Kelsey Mitchell, a double-double from both Natasha Howard and Aaliyah Boston, 15 points from Ari McDonald. Everybody contributed, as Stephanie White describes.
Finding different ways. I didn't feel like we played particularly well tonight, but, finding ways to get wins, and that's going on some scoring bursts. That's being able to rely on multiple players, getting stops when needed, making adjustments and continuing to grow.
Now, it certainly got hairy. Dallas started the fourth quarter on a 7-2 run, but the Fever responded. They held on, and they win by 10. Major League Baseball, some scores still in action from the Midwest teams. How about the White Sox? In Anaheim, they lead the Angels 2-0 right now, bottom of the third. We'll keep an eye on that one, of course, as the show progresses. We are scoreless in San Diego. That is where Coach Lovell's Cardinals play tonight, bottom of the fourth inning there. We'll keep an eye on that as well. The scores that are final, the Reds beat the Braves 3-2. That one this afternoon from Great American Ballpark. Another strong outing from Brady Singer, a good bounce back. The Cubs win at Wrigley Field 1-0 against the Orioles. The Phillies beat the Tigers 5-4 that final. The Guardians 3-2, they beat the Twins. Nathaniel Finch,
update. Nathaniel Finch going to have your scoreboard updates the rest of the evening. Eddie Garrison going to join us from the Pacers or the Fever pre and post game shows. He's going to join us. Well, he does the Pacers as well, but he's going to join us to talk about the Fever's win over the Wings in just a little bit. My conversation with Joel A. Erickson can take place in just a second, but I want to take a second to talk about the Indiana Donor Network. Indiana Sports Talk brought to you by Indiana Donor Network. Sign up to be an organ donor today. Help save lives in the future. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. I'm an organ donor. I encourage you to do the same. No age limits, no health restrictions to sign up to be an organ donor. Every 10 minutes, someone is added to the donor transplant waiting list. And there are more than 1,300 Hoosiers waiting for a life-saving organ transplant right now. Signing up to be an organ donor and tissue donor can help save 8 lives and heal 75 others. If you remember, Brian Clausen saved 5 lives through his death with the Driven to Save Lives program. More information on being an organ donor and Brian's story at driventosavelives.org. That's driven, the number 2, savelives.org. And if you want to see Brian's story, go to driventosavelives.org/story. More with my conversation on Joel A. Erickson right now as he joins me. Joel, how are you doing? We'll continue the conversation talking about the Colts. Joel A. Erickson of the Indianapolis Star joining me on Indiana Sports Talk. Joel, let's switch away from the quarterbacks a little bit here. You have been in every training camp so far, some practices and everything. Who has showed up in a good way and who has struggled in your eyes?
I think one of the players that's kind of showed up in a good way is maybe not from a play standpoint, but just from being available is Justin Wally. Jalen Jones at corner, his hamstring injury, Shane Steichen acknowledged it was more severe than Juju Brent's hamstring injury, which if you've been following Steichen, that's a pretty concerning thing. He doesn't usually say much more about an injury than a little bit. And so Wally has he's been able to be on the field. He's made some pass breakups. I don't think it's been as eye-popping as they described it being in the spring, but for a rookie, he's been with the starters and staying there. I think in terms of somebody who maybe it hasn't looked as good. Number one, this isn't from watching him play, but I'm starting to wonder about Zaire Franklin's ankle a little bit. He's been out the whole time. Initially, Chris Ballard said it would be a couple of days. It's been more than a week now. He still isn't playing. When he gets back on the field is interesting to me. That's something I have jotted down. I think the other thing is, and this week has kind of thrown this off a little bit because he's looked really, really good this week. But A.D. Mitchell got off to a little bit of he got off to a slow start. There were drops. He wasn't getting as much separation as usual. He had some this week, but again, you have to put it in the context that they've had lesser corners this week due to injury. So I think he's one that you want to see more from as we get into these joint practices, and hopefully he gets to go against some of the Ravens and Packers' better cornerbacks.
Tyler Warren made a highlight reel catch last night in practice. That was all over the social medias and everything like that. How's he looked so far, and anybody else really stand out with their play in training camp?
I think Tyler Warren is going to be what most people expected. He does a really good job of making contested catches. Anytime you have, kind of the difficult, anytime you have the difficult catches, like you're not going to make all of them. And I think you can get to the point where you're assuming that you need to make with Warren that he should make all of them. Like you're not going to make all of them. He makes a lot of them. The one we saw out there, that's the best catch I've seen in camp in a while. Defensively, Laiatu Latu, now that the pads came on, is starting to show up more consistently, and that's huge for this team. They really need him to be an impact pass rusher. I think another person probably standing out to me, maybe not in that practice last night, but for the most part, is Alec Pierce. Pierce has been the most consistent receiver so far, not just on the deep stuff because I hadn't really been throwing that, but even on the short stuff, he's had the most consistent hands. And then, Ward and Bynum, the 2 free agents they signed, they've looked like they're supposed to look. Ward is very, very good at corner. Bynum is all over the field at safety and can even play a little bit of nickel and corner and that kind of thing. Those guys, I think, stand out to me, too.
The toughest position group to cut down right now would be what?
That's a great question. Great question.
The pregnant pause scared me for a minute. I thought I lost you there.
Yeah, no, that's a great question because I feel like there's some clear tiers for everybody. Probably, if everybody's healthy, I think it's corner. If everybody's healthy, I think it's corner because you've got some guys that are, like Sam Womack has played. He's had a lot of flags in camp. He's also made some plays. He's got the history as a starter last season. He was running 6 there for a little while. Corey Ballantyne is in there. That's a veteran who's played significant snaps for a good team with the Packers a couple years ago. He was looking at, can you keep 6, 7 corners? Now, injury might change that. If Jalen Jones is out for a while, if Juju Brents is out for a while, that injury might change that and make it a little bit less so. I think a lot of the other position groups, it feels like it's pretty easy to see right now. The Colts might disagree with me, but I think the roster to me seems pretty. I'm waiting for some surprises as we get into the preseason games.
All right, Joel, I'm going to get you out on this one. Review the drone show and fireworks show from last night.
So I didn't see part of it because we were doing our stand-up and it was going on behind us, which was kind of awesome. That
was a cool visual. You and Nate Atkins, your partner out there. That was a cool visual. I'm going to be quite honest.
That was a really neat idea. I was